Apocalypse. In the first 7 days, I frantically stockpile 300 billion in supplies. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126. Get out of here immediately. It turned out that a group of people came outside the base, and the leader was an extremely enchanting woman. She looked at Mu Hong and Yu Wenli and said, "Who is the person in charge here? Other people are not worthy of talking to me at all. Let your person in charge come out and talk to me. I have something important to talk to your person in charge, you little shrimps. Don't come out and waste my time." Mu Hong and Yu Wenli frowned when they heard what the other woman said, feeling very upset in their hearts. Wang Min sneered and said, "Don't you realize that you are just a small shrimp? What right do you have to make noise here? Get out of here immediately, otherwise I don't mind letting you know how great I am." The enchanting woman sneered and said, "It turns out that you guys are really so reckless. Let me show you how powerful I am." As soon as the enchanting woman's voice fell, a flaming longsword appeared in her hand. With just a slight swing, the scorching high temperature immediately made Wang Min feel his skin was scorched and painful. Yu Wenli couldn't help becoming furious, although she usually fights with Wang Min, but she can bully Wang Min herself. If other people want to bully Wang Min, she is definitely Yu Wenli's enemy. An energy ball immediately appeared in Yu Wenli's hand, and the energy ball became bigger and bigger, and the huge energy contained in the energy ball became more and more irritable. The woman on the other side also immediately realized that Yu Wenli is really not simple. It seems that she has the qualifications to talk to herself, so she immediately asked, "I don't think your strength is weak. You should be the person in charge here, right? Why don't we have a good talk? I came here with sincerity this time. I hope that both of us can reach an agreement, cooperation. The world has been destroyed so much, it is becoming more and more difficult for us human beings to survive. We have powerful people must cooperate with each other, in order to be able to live better and better in the future. Do you think my words are meaningful?" Reason. In order to show her sincerity, this enchanting woman put away the flaming longsword in her hand. Since the other party had no intention of doing anything, Yu Wenli also made the energy ball in her hand disappear. Wang Min snorted coldly. Although he was very dissatisfied, he didn't say anything. Yu Wenli snorted, "I'm not the person in charge here, but you can talk to me about what kind of cooperation you want to have with us. If you can't even pass my level, you will naturally not see our person in charge." "People," the enchanting woman said, "I am Lily, the leader of our team. Our team has awakened 3 supernatural beings, and I am the most powerful one. So I am the leader of our team. Of course we the other 2 superpowers in the team also have strong combat effectiveness." Wang Min snorted coldly. She really didn't like to hear that. Lily didn't care about it either, and continued, "It's better to combine our 2 forces into one force. This will expand our scale and strengthen our combat effectiveness. What do you think of my suggestion?" Mu Hong said, "Could it be that you came to join us specifically? I don't think it's that simple, so tell me your real purpose. Everyone is an adult and a smart person. There's no need to hide it. Only by telling your true purpose can you show your sincerity." Lily smiled and said, "Of course when our 2 teams merge into one team, I should be the person in charge of the new team. What do you think of my proposal?" Wang Min scolded angrily, "Bah, I've seen shameless people before, but it's the first time I've seen shameless people like you. You're here to annex us? But do you think you have the strength? To be honest, even if you take refuge with us, we are willing to accept that you're all in between. You still want to be our boss shamelessly. You really think you have a big face? Could it be that your face is bigger than yours? Is the donkey still big?" Although Yu Wenli sometimes finds Wang Min's mouth annoying, but this time she gave Wang Min a big thumbs up, really scolding him well. "What the hell, Lily, you take yourself too seriously. Do you know how thick-skinned you are, that 3 supernatural beings come here to try to rule your team? Oh shit." Lily looked at Wang Min with a sneer and said, "For the sake of other people, I have been patient with you again and again, but you'd better keep your mouth clean, and don't take my repeated patience as weakness. If you want to, it can only make you lose your life as soon as possible. It is very difficult to survive in this last world, but if you want to die, it is indeed a very simple thing, and I can help you." Wang Min suddenly moved her body and flew high into the sky. In the air, she sneered and said, "You don't know the so-called stinky woman. Do you really think you can threaten me? Auntie, I will let you know how powerful I am right now. In my you are just a clown in front of me. How dare you threaten me? How ridiculous. Although Fang Min's fighting skills are not very good, Lily didn't know it. She was really shocked when she saw Fang Min flying into the air suddenly. Fang Min, a woman with a bad mouth, actually has such the ability, which surprised her greatly. Of course, the flying ability is absolutely shocking in any place. The faces of the other people brought by Lily were also very shocked. It could be seen that they were all shocked by Fang Min. Yu Wenli couldn't help but secretly felt funny in her heart. Although Fang Min's current combat skills can be said to be zero, but to put it bluntly, Fang Min's flying ability is definitely not inferior to anyone. Look at the opponent's face. From the change of expression on the face, you can tell that the opponent and these people are being bluffed by Fang Min. In fact, this is also very easy to understand. For example, if an ordinary person sees another person who can fly, he will naturally think of this person who can fly as a fairy. Although Lily is also a powerful awakened person, she still has some inherent psychological disadvantages when facing a person who can fly. Mu Hong said at this time, "You guys leave us quickly, we are not interested in the cooperation you mentioned. I don't think there's any common language between us. In order to avoid conflicts, you should leave quickly better." Mu Ying also said, "Leave quickly, don't force us to do it. You only have 3 supernatural beings. The number of supernatural beings on our side is many times that of yours. You have also seen our strength. It is not you who can challenge yes, so if you are sensible, leave as soon as possible." When Mu Ying was talking, lightning flashed in her eyes from time to time, giving people an extremely dangerous feeling. This is Mu Ying putting pressure on the other party. Chapter 127 The Eye of Truth. Mu Hong looked at Yu Wenli, let alone Lily's sudden change of attitude. Mu Hong was really tempted. Yu Wenli is actually a little tempted. After all, the other party has brought so many people and 3 supernatural beings. This is a force that cannot be ignored. If you can join your team, you will definitely be able to strengthen your team. Fang Min also fell from the sky. If the other party is willing to be a younger brother, Fang Min certainly has no reason to be angry. Seeing that Mu Hong and the others' attitudes had changed, Lily hurriedly took the opportunity to say, "Actually, it's not that I'm so arrogant, but I really didn't know your strength was so strong before. I just thought you was stronger. Whoever should be the boss, so as to maintain the stability of a team. Now that I know your strength is so strong, of course I will be willing to recognize you as the boss." "What do you think?" Fang Min asked. "Do you really think so? Are you really willing to recognize us as the boss?" Lily replied, "I really think so. Those who are able should live. I actually understand such a simple truth. I sincerely rely on you. After our 2 forces are combined, we will face those damn interstellar. Only the Iron Beetle can have a stronger self-protection ability." Fang Min almost blurted out his agreement, but he heard Xiao Fan's voice. "What if I don't agree?" Mu Hong, Yu Wenli and the others looked behind at the same time, and saw Xiao Fan walking out of the base with Lin Xiaoxiao. Now Lin Xiaoxiao's temperament has completely changed. Not that her funny nature has changed, but that she has a mysterious power in her body. Mu Hong and the others also understand at this time. Lin Xiaoxiao has really awakened ability. I just don't know what ability is awakened. Fang Min couldn't understand what Xiao Fan said. Since the other party was willing to take refuge in him, why Xiao Fan was not willing? Fang Min looked at Xiao Fan very puzzled. Xiao Fan didn't explain, just smiled at her. Lily looked at Xiao Fan and asked, "Is your excellency the leader of this team? I don't know why you don't want to take us in. If you really don't want to take us in, we have to leave." Xiao Fan sneered. "Do you want to leave like this? Then what do you think of us as a vegetable market? You can come and leave whenever you want. How can it be so simple? Now that you have come to this base, then all of them will die here." Mu Hong and Yu Wenli were all taken aback by Xiao Fan's words. They really didn't understand. If Xiao Fan didn't want to take in the other party, then let the other party go. Why did he have to kill all the other party? Lily sneered and said, "If you really decide to do this, don't you think it's too much? There is no deep hatred between us, and we still come to rely on you. Even if you don't want to take us in, it seems that we are all human beings. For the sake of it, there is no need to kill us all." Xiao Fan sneered. "You still have the nerve to say that you are human? You can deceive other people, but can you deceive my eyes? You shameful traitor, when you say that you are still human, don't you? Do you feel ashamed? Are you really a supernatural awakening?" Xiao Fan's words made Mu Hong and Yu Wenli even more surprised. Could it be that the other party is not a power awakener? So what kind of identity is the other party? Why didn't he see any flaws? Lily showed a very puzzled expression on her face and said, I can't understand what you are talking about at all. Is there something I did wrong that made you very angry? If it is me, if the place is wrong, I apologize to your excellency now, please forgive me. Don't do something to kill us all, that will only make our loved ones hurt our enemies, and it will only make the interstellar iron beetle cheaper. Xiao Fan sneered and said, do you still want to continue acting in front of me? Don't you know what kind of people you are? Xiao uncovered their mysteries and let everyone know their true colors. Acting in front of us is really an insult to our IQ? Everyone looked at Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao took a step forward and said, others can't see through you, but they can't hide from my eyes. You still look like one person, but in fact your body has been completely transformed into a monster. Not only you, but everyone behind you has been transformed. You are not supernatural awakeners at all, you are all monsters transformed by interstellar iron beetles. Lin Xiao's tone was extremely firm. It turned out that what she awakened was the eye of reality, which can see through the essence of everything. This is not a combat ability, but it is also a very powerful ability. When Xiao Fan took Lin Xiao out before, she happened to hear that Lily said that she wanted to take refuge in herself. Xiao Fan was very happy in her heart. After all, it is really exciting to increase such a large power for no reason matter, but Lin Xiao firmly stopped Xiao Fan, and revealed the real identities of Lily and the others. It was only then that Xiao Fan brought Lin Xiao out, rejected Lily and the others' support, and now let Lin Xiao stand up and expose their true identities. These people are indeed monsters transformed by the interstellar iron beetle. They pretend to be awakened people with supernatural powers, looking for other awakened supernatural powers, and once they find them, they pretend to cooperate or take refuge in allegiance. The opponent launched an attack and killed all the real supernatural resistors, but this time they were unlucky. They wanted to use this kind of trick to attack Xiao Fan's base, but they never dreamed that you, Xiao, would awaken the power of the Eye of Truth, revealing their true identities thoroughly. If they are thorough, their conspiracy will naturally be exposed, and their despicable and dirty goals will naturally be impossible to achieve. Mu Hong, Yu Wenli and the others looked at Lin Xiao at this time, all showing expressions of shock and envy. This kind of ability will indeed make many people envious, because it is so practical. Chapter 128, A huge crisis approaches. The people brought behind her have all turned into bugs, and these bugs can also spray corrosive liquids, which is very similar to the interstellar iron beetle. It's just that Yu Wenli's movements were faster, and an energy ball was thrown out directly. Feng Fei just waved his right hand, and a huge energy palm also hid him. 2 beams of death shot out from Mu Hong's eyes, and 2 beams of lightning shot out from Mu Ying's hands. After one round of attack, those bugs were all smashed to pieces. It has to be said that the attack power of these women soldiers is very powerful now. When these monsters are seen through their identities, their ending is actually doomed, and the only thing is death. Xiao Fan said with a smile, your attack power really surprised me a little. To be honest, I'm a little scared to face you now. Feng Fei smiled and said, good brother, my sister won't beat you. What are you afraid of? Xiao Fan smirked and said, brother, I'm worried that I won't be able to deal with you in the future. Yu Wenli spat. Only villains spend their days thinking about punishing others. Yu Wenli's words caused Mu Hong and the others to burst into laughter. Xiao Fan waited for them to finish laughing and said earnestly, I told you that you have all seen it. The matter is not that simple. We may encounter danger anytime and anywhere. If Xiao didn't awaken the Eye of Reality this time, I'm afraid I will be plotted against, and I will not lie to you, I was also deceived just now. Yu Wenli scolded, these damn bastards are really scheming, and they can come up with such insidious tricks. They are even more despicable than my old lady. Yu Wenli suddenly felt that it was not good for her to say this, and hurriedly changed her words and said, I mean these monsters are too despicable and shameless. I am of course very noble. Seeing Yu Wenli who changed into funny mode in seconds, Xiao Fan couldn't help laughing, and the other sisters also laughed in good faith. Yu Wenli hurriedly changed the subject and said, let's hurry up and discuss our defense plan. We must have a plan for how to deal with this situation in the future. Xiao Fan nodded and said, what Yu Wenli said is very reasonable. I will leave this matter to you to discuss. I am really tired. I will go to have a rest. As Xiao Fan said, he returned to the underground fortress. He was really tired. He had been busy all the time and hadn't rested yet. Yu Wenli snorted and said, "This stinky man has actually become a shopkeeper. Xiao, what do you think? Our sisters are all listening to you now." Lin Xiao's ability to awaken, and it has played such a big role, is now very confident, so she said, "Let's go to the conference room to discuss, but we must leave one person outside to guard." Wang Min volunteered and said, "Otherwise, I will stay. I have the ability to fly, so it is most suitable to stay on guard missions." Everyone else agreed. Wang Min did have unique conditions in terms of vigilance. Wang Min is also very willing to do this job. She is too lazy to make any plans. The group of women chattering makes her headache. She might as well just relax here. At the same time, in the sky 3,000 miles away from their underground base, a group of interstellar iron beetles were looking down on their base. A golden interstellar iron beetle said, "This underground base actually has such a terrifying ability, Awakener. Is it possible that the original energy of this planet is hidden in this underground base?" Another golden interstellar iron beetle said, "This possibility is not ruled out at all, otherwise how could such a small number of them awaken so many supernatural beings? This must be secretly helped by the original energy of this planet, even if the original energy of the planet is not on this underground base, and it must be hiding not far away." Earlier, he said about the golden interstellar iron beetle, "Then what should we do now? This is a clue that we have worked so hard to find. We must treat it with caution. I don't agree to destroy this base directly, otherwise it may scare the snake away. The original energy is more concealed and hidden." Another interstellar iron beetle nodded and replied, "I also agree not to destroy this underground base directly, but we must find a way to use this underground base to draw out the original energy of this planet." The previous interstellar iron beetle said proudly, "I have a method here, and it may work. If we succeed, we can not only find the original energy of this planet, but also completely destroy this base." Another interstellar iron beetle said, "Then quickly tell your method. If it is feasible, we will implement it immediately. We don't have too much time to waste on this low-level planet. We must take the origin of this planet, find out the energy as soon as possible, and let this planet become the incubation base for our offspring." The other interstellar iron beetles listened quietly. It can be seen that they are all subordinates. Except for the two golden interstellar iron beetles, other interstellar iron beetles have no right to speak at this time. It can also be seen from this that the status gap between them is very different, and the level is also very clear. As the nobles of the interstellar iron beetles, they have the supreme status. When ordinary members of the interstellar iron beetles face the nobles, they can only maintain respect and obey. The previous interstellar iron beetle said with great confidence, "Then start from this moment and kick off a big drama. This big drama will be completely dominated by us. When this big drama ends, our interstellar iron beetle will become the master of this planet. This planet will become our incubation base. The most powerful resistance force on this planet will also be wiped out by us, and the humble humans who can survive on this planet will become our slaves, to dedicate their lives to the incubation of our offspring." After the other interstellar iron beetles heard it, they all showed cruel expressions. At this time, Xiao Fan's underground base didn't know that a huge crisis was approaching them. Although Wang Min was on guard outside the base, he didn't have the slightest sense of the interstellar iron beetles' conspiracy. The distance is still a bit too far. Although Wang Min has the ability to fly, it can't play any real role in the face of such a long-distance enemy. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129. We were fished. No matter how beautiful the work was at the time, when you are faced with some unexpected situations, because the situation happened too suddenly, you may ignore some factors at the time, but you may refocus on them when you look back afterwards. These factors, so that some things that were originally neglected are re-emphasized. Xiao Fan suddenly felt a little doubtful. The monsters he killed just now seemed to be carefully manufactured. Could it be that the interstellar iron beetle released them with confidence? How on earth did they control these monsters? Xiao Fan couldn't help feeling a little regretful. Maybe he was too reckless at the time, and he should have killed those monsters more secretly. The interstellar iron beetle must have a way to contact these monsters, so he blatantly killed them. Doesn't it also mean that his underground base has been exposed? Thinking of this, Xiao Fan was so clever that he was afraid that the truth would really be as he had guessed. His underground base will face more and more dangers, but Xiao Fan has no good way at present, and it is impossible to leave his underground base at this level. Xiao Fan was thinking about countermeasures when the door was pushed open. Su Xia walked in, and then closed the door behind her backhand. Xiao Fan asked puzzledly, "Sister Xia, what's the matter?" Su Xia lowered her head and said embarrassingly, "Mr. Xiao, I know that among all the sisters, I am the one who has the least face to speak to you. I know that I am very dirty, and Mr. Xiao has never been serious seeing me. But I really don't care about all of this. Because I know that I can only be treated like this, so I don't have any complaints. But I still want to be cheeky and ask Mr. Xiao for something." Seeing Su Xia's pitiful words, Xiao Fan smiled and said, "Sister Xia, do you also want to awaken your abilities?" Su Xia nodded vigorously and replied, "I just want you to help me awaken my abilities. I want to become a strong woman. From now on, I can become a warrior and no longer depend on anyone to live. Even if I die in battle one day, yes, I also feel that I have truly become a human being once, and I am not carrying the reputation of other men's playthings all my life." Xiao Fan replied seriously, "Sister Xia, don't worry, I will definitely help you meet your request. As long as I get some more loot, I will definitely help you awaken your abilities. Sometimes I think you don't have to do this. Your low self-esteem is not because I didn't look you in the right eye, but because I'm really too busy." Su Xia hurriedly said gratefully, "Thank you Mr. Xiao, then you can rest, I'm leaving." Xiao Fan nodded. Su Xia stopped by the door and said, "Mr. Xiao, I don't know if I should say something or not." "I think it's time to say it," Xiao Fan said with a smile. "Sister Xia is also a member of this base, so of course you have to speak up if you have something to do, and you are responsible for yourself and our base." Su Xia turned around again and said, "I think it was very difficult for us to kill those monsters just now. I always feel that they are like a bait for catching fish like us. Although we ate the bait, we actually took the bait too." Xiao Fan looked at the woman in front of him in disbelief. This time, he really looked at this woman with admiration. He really despised this woman from the bottom of his heart before, thinking that this woman was at most a vase, but looking at it now it doesn't look like this. This woman's brain is very useful. It turned out to be almost the same as his judgment just now, which shocked Xiao Fan very much. Xiao Fan subconsciously asked, "Sister Xia, do you have any suggestions?" Su Xia said, "I think the interstellar iron beetle will definitely attack us next. But there is a problem here, I still can't figure it out. Why, since they discovered our base, they didn't directly attack us, but directly sent us? Wouldn't it be more convenient for them to destroy this base? Why are they still fishing for us? I really can't understand this point." Xiao Fan smiled and said, "Sister Xia is so smart, so don't be overly modest. Express your judgment boldly. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake, I won't blame you." Su Xia said cautiously, "I feel that a series of unusual things have happened in our underground base recently, which made the interstellar iron beetles very interested. This is the reason why they didn't directly attack us." Xiao Fan felt more and more unbelievable that this woman could think of this level, which Xiao Fan never thought of. Xiao Fan encouraged, "Sister Xia, please explain in more detail. I think what you said is very helpful to me. It would be even better if you could explain in more detail." With Xiao Fan's encouragement, Su Xia was obviously very happy. She boldly came to Xiao Fan and said, "Don't Mr. Xiao feel strange? Why can we suddenly awaken so many powerful aliens smoothly? Ability. Don't you think this ratio is too alarming? You once said that there are only a few people who can awaken supernatural powers. This is such a low probability, but now why does this probability suddenly seem to be non-existent?" It was a word that awakened the dreamer. Xiao Fan faintly felt something was wrong in his heart, but he really didn't think about it. It was only after Su Xia reminded him that he remembered why he felt a little strange before. That is because of this terrible ability awakening success rate. Xiao Fan even grabbed Su Xia's hand subconsciously, and asked with some forgetfulness, "Sister Xia, continue talking." Su Xia froze, but immediately returned to normal, and continued, "I think our terrifying ability awakening success rate is also the reason why the interstellar iron beetle fishes us. There must be a very reasonable explanation behind this. This very reasonable explanation must also be the target that the interstellar iron beetle wants to find." Xiao Fan got up suddenly. He forgot that he was still holding the woman's hand, and threw Su Xia away. Fortunately, He didn't let go of the woman's hands subconsciously, so the woman was not really thrown go out, but I heard Kaba's sound, and one of the woman's hands was dislocated. After all, Su Xia is just an ordinary person now, and she screamed in pain. Only then did Xiao Fan realize how much she had lost her composure, and hurriedly said, "Sister Xia, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you, I'm really sorry." Chapter 130 Mysterious Power? Fortunately, Xiao Fan has rich combat experience in the apocalypse, and he is also very experienced in treating some basic dislocations, so he quickly helped this woman return to normal. Xiao Fan asked embarrassingly, "Sister Xia, how about you try it? Does it still hurt?" Su Xia raised her arm and replied with a smile, "It doesn't matter, it's all good." Xiao Fan nodded and apologized again. Su Xia felt a little embarrassed instead. Xiao Fan said, "Sister Xia, can you guess why we have such a high success rate of awakening abilities?" Su Xia shook her head and replied, "I don't know the specific reason, but I know that the interstellar iron beetle must have guessed the real reason. It is very likely that we have been helped by some kind of mysterious power, and this mysterious force is the enemy of the interstellar iron beetle." Xiao Fan fell silent after listening, and Su Xia didn't speak anymore. After a while Su Xia suddenly asked, "Mr. Xiao, would you like me to pinch your shoulders for you? My technique is very good and can help you quickly relieve fatigue." Xiao Fan nodded. Su Xia began to stand behind him and squeezed his shoulders. Xiao Fan sat back on the bed again. Su Xia squeezed her hard and said, "Actually, although we don't know the real reason now, as long as we can dealing with the interstellar iron beetle very well, you should be able to get the truth from them." Xiao Fan asked, "Sister Xia, what do you think we should do?" Su Xia replied with a smile, "They are actually fishing for us. There must be some action below. Why don't we pretend to be hooked, and then play by ear?" Xiao Fan nodded and said, "Now we can only do this, and now I can't think of a better way. Sister Xia, go to the big conference room and tell everyone what you said, or don't say it for now. Now, just tell me Xiao Xiao, Mu Hong, Yu Wenli and Fang Lin. Don't tell the others for now." Su Xia nodded and replied, "I think it's best for Professor Fang not to tell her." Xiao Fan asked in puzzlement, "Why?" Su Xia replied seriously, "I think Professor Fang is very simple. She should not hold more things in her heart, because if she holds too many things in her heart, it will affect her work. I don't see any specific value in her research work, but I always feel that one day her research will be of great help to us." Xiao Fan smiled and said, "Sister Xia, you should be the second person in charge." Su Xia said sadly, "I'm an unclean woman, so I don't have the qualifications to be the second person in charge. As long as Mr. Xiao can look me in the eye, I will be very satisfied." Xiao Fan turned to look at Su Xia, and said seriously, "Sister Xia, you don't need to be so inferior in front of me in the future. Let the past go, don't let the past become a knot in your heart. Your wisdom is stronger. It shouldn't be buried, you go and discuss it with them, and I will think about it too." Su Xia obediently left, and Xiao Fan lay on the bed again, but she couldn't calm down anymore. Of course, it was impossible to talk about rest. How could she be in the mood to rest with such a big matter? Xiao Fan thought for a long time before muttering, "Is it really related to the original energy? Is the original energy helping us in secret? But why doesn't it appear?" Of course, no one will answer Xiao Fan's question. The truth needs to be discovered by Xiao Fan himself, but now I can confirm that the people around me have awakened their abilities one after another. And the success rate is so high. It is indeed like what Su Xia said, there is a mysterious power secretly helping her. At this moment, the door opened again, and Tan Fifei slipped in. She came to Xiao Fan with a grin, and a hungry tiger rushed over and blocked Xiao Fan's mouth. Xiao Fan was speechless for a while. None of these women was serious when they held a meeting. One slipped in one after another, and one slipped in one after another. Is it really impossible to go to the meeting so seriously? It took 3 minutes for Xiao Fan to breathe the free air, and Tan Fifei said, "You are such a villain. Is it true that if I don't take the initiative to find you, you will only look at me at most?" Xiao Fan said speechlessly, "Don't you look at what time it is now? I need to worry about a lot of things. I just want to find you, and I don't have time." Tan Fifei snorted, "Are you lying to ghosts? There are some things I don't want to expose you. You said that when you were with Miss Zhang just now. How did you have time? What did you do with Fang Min outside? You think I'm a fool, can't I see it?" Xiao Fan said with an awkward smile, "Okay, it's all my fault. But now we have encountered a very serious incident. Our base is likely to be targeted by interstellar iron beetles, not the usual ones. Stare at it. You are being watched by the keypoint. Tan Fifei was taken aback and asked, then what should we do now? Will we become very dangerous? But until now I have not been able to awaken the ability, and I dare not make such an excessive request. If I can awaken the power, I can fight side by side with you. Xiao Fan replied earnestly, I will help you awaken your abilities as soon as possible, please rest assured. Now the situation we are facing is getting more and more dangerous. Favorable, as long as the conditions are met, I will not have any hesitation for you, Tan Fifei said. If what you said is true, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Seeing other people awaken their abilities one after another, although I didn't say anything and pretended to be smiling all over my face, I was very happy in my heart. It's not a taste. I don't know if I'm stingy, but I'm really envious, jealous and hate. I'm very, very jealous of them. I hope I can awaken abilities like them, then I can help you. Only then will I really feel that I belong to you, and then when I am by your side, I will really feel at ease. Xiao Fan patted Yuan Gungan behind Tan Fifei and said, don't worry, I will definitely do what you promised. You have a certain ability to protect yourself, and I will be more at ease in the future. You don't have to be envious of them. I can assure you that you will be able to awaken your abilities in a short time. What Xiao Fan said is not wrong. If there is really a mysterious force secretly helping him, then it is an inevitable result that the people around him will awaken their abilities one after another. Chapter 131 Weird Boys and Girls. She couldn't help but start fantasizing that it would be great if that villain could be with her, and she could have fun playing with him. It was really boring to be alone. Wang Min's face turned red as he thought about it, and while he was thinking wildly, Wang Min suddenly saw a group of people walking towards his base. Wang Min immediately became very vigilant and immediately issued a warning when the group approached. Wang Min was stunned. They were all boys and girls in their teens. There were nearly 50 of them, and each one of them seemed to have a special temperament. Wang Min knew that all of these boys and girls must have awakened abilities. At least they had the potential to awaken abilities. At this time, Mu Hong, Yu Wenli and the others also all walked out of the base, and it was very strange to see those boys and girls, who cultivated such a mysterious force. Is it still a monster transformed by the interstellar iron beetle? At this time, a young girl stepped forward and said, our sister asked us to come here, saying that you would take us in. I want to know if you will take us in? If you don't want to take us in, we will leave, Yu Wenli asked gently. Little sister, where are you from? Who is your sister? The girl shook her head and replied, I can't tell you who my sister is. Only when I meet a person named Xiao Fan can I tell him some things, and only he knows these things. Yu Wenli looked at Mu Hong, who said, I'll call him out. Yu Wenli nodded, and Mu Hong returned to the underground base. Their all abilities are awakened, and they actually have a keen intuition for danger, but they don't feel the hostility from these girls and boys, so their attitudes are very gentle at the moment. Yu Wenli looked at the girl and said with a smile, Xiao Fan will come out soon. You wait a moment. But you can also talk to my sister about some things, and basically Xiao Fan will agree to anything my sister promises. The girl still shook her head and replied, my sister said that only he knows about this matter. You are absolutely not qualified to know. I'm very sorry that I can't tell you anything. Yu Wenli smiled wryly. Okay then, even if my sister was acting affectionate just now, the girl may also feel a little embarrassed, looked at Yu Wenli and said, sister is so beautiful, as beautiful as my sister. I like my sister very much. Can I call you sister? Yu Wenli felt that she was a little hide at first, but now she regained her spirits and said, of course you can call me sister, there is no problem. Wang Min looked at the entrance of the cave, and couldn't help wondering, why didn't this smelly man come out? The girl smiled and said, good sister, if we can stay here, will you protect us? Yu Wenli smiled and said, of course I will protect you. You are all so cute. You are all my good sisters and brothers. It is also my duty to protect you. Please rest assured. My sister will definitely protect you. You are hurt at any point, Fang Fair said softly. We will treat you as our own children and protect you. Lin Xiaoxiao also came out at this time. She was delayed because of some things, mainly to arrange the defense and the base, so she came out now. At this time, she used her real eyes to look, and suddenly let out a scream. Lin Xiaoxiao covered her eyes in pain. She just peeped at the girl in front of her with a real eye, and the girl heard her eyes. Fortunately, Lin Xiaoxiao just felt that her eyes were stinging, and she recovered quickly. Fang Lin hurriedly supported her and asked, Xiao, are you alright? Yu Wenli looked at the girl and asked, how could you hurt that sister? The girl shook her head and replied, I didn't mean to hurt her. If I did, her eyes are completely useless now. Just now, my body activated a self-defense ability. My body does not allow this sister to see through me. Lin Xiao, little sister is right, she didn't mean to hurt me, it's because I'm not capable enough. Yu Wenli asked curiously, little sister, tell me who you are. The girl shook her head and said, why hasn't Xiao Fan come out yet? That's why I can't say anything. Is he sleeping late? A certain person really wasn't sleeping late, but he was busy arranging his clothes right now, and hurriedly followed Mu Hong out of the base. Mu Hong teased, you are really racing against time, you see every corner. Since your interest is so high, why didn't you see you coming towards my sister? Is it true that my sister is already yesterday's flower in your eyes? Xiao Fan smiled wryly, Sister Hong, stop teasing me. It was Fifi who provoked me, so I really can't be blamed. Mu Hong snorted coldly and said, then you just wait for me and see how I deal with you. Xiao Fan scratched her hair in embarrassment, and came outside the base seeing the 50 boys and girls in front of him for the first time. Xiao Fan suddenly felt dizzy, he staggered and almost fell to the ground. Mu Hong was taken aback, and looked at those boys and girls very unkindly, his eyes were already full of hostility. Yu Wenli's originally kind gaze had also disappeared. Fang Min is about to do it, even Fang Lin and the others are already ready to do it. The girl hurriedly said, sisters, listen to me, we really don't have any hostility towards you. And what happened just now has nothing to do with us. Xiao Fan also returned to normal at this time, but he felt that his vision was becoming more and more blurred. He hurriedly looked in another direction, but when he saw other things, they were very clear. Vague, but he still insisted on looking at the past, and gradually he felt more and more incredible, because these boys and girls became more and more blurred, and finally only one of the girls was left with a very clear appearance. Xiao Fan felt very unbelievable. What is the reason for this? Is this a hint to myself? The girl from before said, Big brother, maybe you see something? But no matter what you see, don't say it, there are some secrets that only you are allowed to know. I want to talk to Big brother alone. I don't know if Big brother is willing to give me such a chance. But I can assure you that I don't have any hostility towards Big brother. I am definitely Big brother's friend and definitely not an enemy. Big brother should also be able to sense my kindness. Chapter 132 Help me destroy it. Of course the sound can still be heard very clearly. Xiao Fan nodded and said, I can talk to you alone, but where do you think we can talk better? The girl thought for a while and said, do you dare Big brother to enter my dream? Of course there is no other meaning, because only entering my dream is absolutely safe. Fang Lin walked in front of Xiao Fan and reminded in a low voice, I think it's better to be careful. Xiao Fan thought for a while and said, don't worry, I know it well, I didn't feel that this little sister would hurt me. Fang Lin didn't say anything more. Xiao Fan nodded and said, I can promise you, but how can I enter your dream? The girl said, let's go to the Big brother's room, I will let the Big brother enter my dream. Xiao Fan nodded, and led the girl into the underground base, and the other boys and girls also entered the base together. Only Fang Min and Lin Xiao were left outside the base. And the two of them were on guard duty. Lin Xiao is now the second person in charge, of course she has to pay more for some things. Came to Xiao Fan's room, Tan Fifi had already left. Xiao Fan closed the door and said, you are not a real person, am I right? The girl replied, the Big brother's intuition is really very powerful, and he can see the essence of the matter right away, but some things should be said in dreams. The girl suddenly turned into wisps of gas and entered Xiao Fan's body. Xiao Fan felt his eyes go black, and when he returned to normal again, the scenery in front of him completely changed. What appeared in his eyes was a vast starry sky. In the depths of the starry sky, a girl slowly walked towards him step by step. Xiao Fan saw clearly that this girl was the girl standing among 50 boys and girls. The girl said, Xiao Fan, I actually don't want to appear in front of you in this form. If I never have the chance to appear in front of you, it will be a big deal not only for you, but also for me, fortunately. But now I have to show up in front of you, which means that both of us have reached an extremely dangerous situation. Xiao Fan listened calmly without opening his mouth, but his heart was very disturbed. He had his own guess. The girl in front of him was probably the original energy of this planet. The original energy was forced to the first step of no retreat, so he had to show up and face himself directly. Just like the girl herself said the same, this is really not a good thing. The girl continued, I think you should have sensed it too. A lot of unusual things have happened around you recently, such as this incredible success rate of awakening abilities. I'm helping you. I originally planned to help you secretly yours, but now I have to show up, because the interstellar iron beetle actually used the mysterious machine, so I can no longer hide like before. I am very, very dangerous now, and it will be sooner or later that they find a thing. Xiao Fan hurriedly asked, what kind of machine is it? The girl sighed slightly and said, it's a mysterious machine that I have no way of understanding the working principle. It came here specially to investigate me. It all starts with my identity. Strictly speaking, I am also alive. It is precisely because of my existence that the planet reproduces all kinds of life including you humans. You are all my parasites. Xiao Fan almost spit out a mouthful of old blood. Is he a body? It was the first time for Xiao Fan to hear such a statement. And he really couldn't accept it. The girl smiled and said, I know you doubt my statement, but you should still feel incredible. But what I have to say is that everything I said is true. You are indeed my parasite. But the parasite I am talking about is very different from the parasite you understand. The parasite I am talking about refers to the parasitism of my energy. You have obtained life by relying on my energy, and then obtain the ability to evolve. If this planet loses my existence, then this planet will immediately become barren, and there will be no more life. So you can call me the original civilization. Xiao Fan didn't speak. He needs to digest this information. The girl continued, the interstellar iron beetles are actually here for me. They want to turn my energy into nourishment for their offspring. In other words, they are not only killing me, but also competing with you for energy. They want to use my energy to incubate their offspring, so that their offspring can gain the ability to evolve faster. For example, the evolution that originally took 100 years, due to the use of my energy catalysis, may be completed in a month. Xiao Fan said, the mysterious machine they brought this time makes you feel that you are under great threat. The girl nodded and replied, I need your help to destroy that machine. This is for me and for yourselves. Don't you always call the earth your mother? In fact, I am your real mother. Xiao Fan said strangely, I think this metaphor is a bit inappropriate. It really makes me feel weird, especially you. You look like a girl. The girl nodded and replied, from the evolution of my own life, I am indeed still a girl now. But this does not affect the fact that I am your mother. Xiao Fan said awkwardly, I said that we will not discuss this issue for the time being. I will try my best to complete what you want me to do. But how can I help you specifically? The girl replied, as long as you are willing to help me, things will become very simple. I will tell you the specific location of that mysterious machine, and then you can try your best to destroy that machine. As long as that machine, when the machine is gone, I will be very safe, and if I am safe, you will have hope again. Xiao Fan nodded and said, as long as you tell me the specific location of that mysterious machine, I will definitely try my best to destroy that mysterious machine. Although it cannot be said to be my mission, I will definitely try my best. Do it. Just like you said, I must do it even for myself. When the girl heard Xiao Fan's words, a very gratified smile appeared on her face. At this moment, she was smiling very warmly, just like a kind mother looking at her child. Chapter 133, Su Xia and number 039, S Suspicion. Su Xia looked very anxious. Mu Hong hurriedly asked, Sister Xia, what happened? You look very wrong. Su Xia replied, Sister, don't you realize that the current situation is very strange to us? So many incredible things happen one after another, it's hard to say that someone didn't do it on purpose. Mu Hong asked, Sister, do you mean those boys and girls outside? Su Xia nodded and replied, how do I think about it? I think there is something wrong with him. There is definitely something wrong with this person. He definitely doesn't want to look harmless to humans and animals. The reason why we feel very at ease now is that they haven't killed their minions yet. Expose them, otherwise once they reveal their true colors, they will definitely deal a fatal blow to us. Mu Ying said cautiously, Sister, is there any basis for saying this? No one can see that something is wrong, and now we can't rashly accuse those boys and girls. Su Xia said, it's not that no one sees that there is nothing wrong with him. Think about it carefully. Lin Xiaoxiao's relay suddenly failed, and Xiao Fan felt dizzy when he saw them for the first time. Do you think this situation is normal? I think it is very abnormal. If it is Lin Xiaoxiao or Xiao Fan who has something abnormal, I think it can be explained in the past, But now they at the same time, accidents happen to both of them. Do you still think this is normal? Wasn't someone doing it on purpose? Mu Ying thought for a while and said, Sister Xia, what you said is really reasonable. But what should we do now? Other people may not believe our words, and those boys and girls have already entered our base, let alone Xiao Fan is still in their dreams. Mu Hong also said nervously, if these boys and girls really have problems, not only Xiao Fan is very dangerous now, but our entire base is also very dangerous. Su Xiar replied, we must find a way to eliminate this danger now. Otherwise, we are all in danger, and Xiao Fan is even more dangerous. Mu Ying said at a loss, but I can't think of a good way now, or we will quietly gather our people together, and then suddenly kill all those boys and girls, or capture them all if we don't kill them. Come on, do you think this is a good idea? Mu Hong shook her head and replied, those boys and girls are very difficult. We have a lot of people, but compared with their number, they are still a little small. Whether we want to kill them suddenly or capture them all, let's face it, we can't even do it with our current strength. Once our intentions are seen through, our entire base will be in extreme danger. Su Xia said, we must understand what their real purpose is. If we can understand this, we can make targeted deployments. Maybe we can find an opportunity to resolve this disaster in an invisible way. Middle, Mu Hong immediately said, I'll test them out. Su Xia said, I think this matter should be left to me. It's not that my sister looks down on you, it's just that my sister is more suitable to test them. My sister has more thoughts in her heart than you, and she is also more perfect than you. Mu Hong thought for a while and said, but Sister Xia, you haven't even awakened your supernatural powers. It's too dangerous to face them directly. Once they suspect you, they will directly kill you. You don't even have the chance to escape, so I can't agree, it's too dangerous. Su Xia smiled confidently, don't worry. Maybe it's because of my sister that I haven't even awakened my powers, so when I face them alone, they may relax their vigilance against me, and I am most likely to learn from them. Here's some truths, find their flaws or the real purpose of their coming. Su Xia was actually very scared in her heart, but since following Mu Hong, Su Xia's whole person has changed. He knows that he is a tainted person. Many people don't say anything, but they look down on her more or less in their hearts. Su Xia is also a woman, a very sensitive woman. How could she not feel this? So she knows that if she wants to better integrate into this group, she must pay more than others in order to be recognized by others and respect. So Su Xia is more willing to use her brain and take risks than others. She wants to make some achievements so that everyone can look at her with admiration. A new understanding, of course this is her good wish. For such a purpose, Su Xia is willing to take risks. Even if she sacrifices her life for this, she has no complaints. Xiao Fan once said to her, Sister Xia, I don't have any opinion on you, I'm just too busy, so I pay little attention to you. Su Xia is not a stupid woman either. Could she tell if what Xiao Fan said was polite? So Su Xia also has an ultimate goal, which is to finally get Xiao Fan's approval. It doesn't have to have a story with Xiao Fan, but she just doesn't want Xiao Fan to feel awkward towards herself. Mu Hong looked at her best friend and said, Sister Xia, you must be careful. Your safety is very important to me. You are my good sister, you were my good sister in the past, and you will be in the present and in the future. I know you have a big burden in your heart, but I believe you can also feel that my feelings for you have never changed. Su Xia smiled and said, it depends on what you said, I'm just going to test their tone, and it's not a parting of life and death. My good sister, every relationship between us is incomparably precious in this apocalypse, so I must cherish your feelings. Rest assured, I will never be in any danger. After Su Xia finished speaking, she turned around and was about to leave, but Mu Hong grabbed her hand and said, Sister Xia, remember what I said, Xiao Fan will definitely remember everything you have done today. From now on, in his eyes and in his heart, you will be a brand new Sister Xia. Su Xia said with a smile, if this is really possible, sister, I really wish for it, but my sister knows about her own affairs, and there are some things. Su Xia didn't finish her sentence, she just showed a wry smile, then turned and left, walking very freely and confidently. Chapter 134 You are my favorite person. The girl nodded and replied, you can ask me any questions, as long as I can answer them, I will give you detailed answers. Xiao Fan asked, why the moment I saw you, only you were real, and everyone else seemed to be illusory. The girl smiled and said, your feeling is very accurate. Indeed, I am the only one who is the source of energy on this planet. The rest are just shadows that I have transformed with energy. It is just in case I am discovered by the interstellar iron beetle. The shadow is here to cover my whereabouts, just to help me avoid it." Xiao Fan nodded and continued to ask, "I want to know if your shadows have the ability to fight." The girl replied proudly, "My shadows are all transformed by energy, and they are all under the control of my will. If I want them to fight, of course I can fight. I can even make them do anything. They won't do anything against my will, because they have no will of their own." Xiao Fan laughed and said, "It really surprises me that you have such a powerful ability." The girl suddenly asked, "But why do you suddenly ask this question?" Xiao Fan explained, "I was just curious. When I saw those shadows, I felt that they were blurry. I felt that they were not real, so I was very curious. There is no other meaning, just pure curiosity." The girl smiled and said, "Actually, your ability surprised me very much. I didn't expect you to be able to see through them. Even the interstellar iron beetles may not be able to see through them. Otherwise, I wouldn't need to waste so much energy to transform these shadows appeared. I just want the interstellar iron beetle to be unable to tell which one is the real me, so that it can form a cover for me. You really surprised me, even though you are my child. You also surprised me, child." Xiao Fan smiled wryly and said, "I said, can I stop mentioning this? Maybe I am really your energy parasite, but I always feel very weird, so don't say that again. It's my request." The girl nodded and replied, "Okay, I agree to your request. I won't mention this matter in the future. Let's get back to the point. If you want to destroy that mysterious machine, I'm afraid you can only rely on your own strength. There is still no way to do it. I can give you an energy bomb. This energy bomb can blow up that mysterious machine." Xiao Fan hurriedly asked, "But I am in your dream now. How can I get that energy bomb?" "No, you give me an energy bomb now, but once I wake up from your dream, there will be nothing, right?" The girl smiled and said, "You don't have to worry about this at all. The reason why I want to talk to you in my dream is to prevent our conversation from being monitored by the interstellar iron beetle. When I give you the energy bomb, it will be in reality. I'll give it to you, so you'll get the real power bomb." Xiao Fan nodded and said, "This way I can rest assured. I am really worried that the things I got in my dreams don't exist in reality." The girl smiled and said, "If there is no problem, I will tell you the exact location of that mysterious machine. After you remember it, we can wake up from our dreams." Xiao Fan hurriedly said, "Wait a minute, I have another very important question. I think you have created so many shadows, which is a good cover for yourself, but you don't think this will increase your exposure. Are you at risk? Although I don't know what energy you used to transform those shadows, I can guess that those energies must have something to do with you. Originally, it was difficult for the interstellar iron beetle to find you alone. Yes, you're making so many shadows now, it will actually increase their chances of finding you." The girl was lost in thought. Xiao Fan continued, "I mean, can you put away those shadows of yours? You should also know that keeping them in my base will bring great risks to my base. No, I am a coward. Although I am willing to help you, I am not willing to let the people around me take risks together, especially since you have also discovered that not all people in this base have awakened abilities. There are many people who without the awakening ability, they don't have any self-protection ability at all. If the interstellar iron beetle really launches a key attack on this base, my companions who don't have the awakening ability may only have a dead end." The girl said, "Your worry is also justified. When you go to perform the mission, I will put away all these shadows, or I will take them away from your base." Xiao Fan hurriedly said, "I think you misunderstood what I mean. You should put them away immediately. Don't you think that every second they exist will increase a risk by 1 point? So we should put them all away as soon as possible. Put it away. This is the most beneficial for us. Maybe they will give the interstellar iron beetles a chance to find us, and also a chance to find you. Do you think this is the reason?" The girl nodded and replied, "What you said makes sense. It was true that I ignored this problem before, so I will put them all away now. This is a very simple thing for me. Just move. It's just my thoughts. You guessed right. They are all my own energy." Xiao Fan said gratefully, "Thank you very much. You can always consider us people. I am really grateful. We are all parasites of your energy. To be honest, I don't want to face this reality, but it is true. It is an objective reality. So please rest assured, no matter how much I pay this time, I will definitely complete the task. Even if I die with that machine, I will never hesitate." The girl replied very solemnly, "You are the one I chose, and you are also the one I value very much. I don't want you to perish with that machine. As long as you come back safely, return to the base safely, and return to my side safely, I will give you more help in the future, let you become the real leader of this planet, and lead all the supernatural awakeners on this planet to completely wipe out the interstellar iron beetle. Xiao Fan nodded very seriously and said, killing all the interstellar iron beetles is also my long-standing wish. Chapter 135, Su Xiao besieged. Suddenly a girl stood up and said, Sister, can you ask more people to accompany us? We feel so lonely here, we want to play with more people. The other boys and girls also followed. Su Xiao immediately nodded with a smile and said, it doesn't matter, just call more people over. Then Su Xiao looked at Yu Wenli with a wink, but Yu Wenli didn't understand it, but Su Xiao pushed open the door again and walked out. As soon as she walked out, she felt that her back was drenched in cold sweat. There is definitely something wrong with these damned guys. Each of them seems to be able to see through themselves. Just when they looked at Su Xiao at the same time, Su Xiao felt a huge sense of crisis. Moreover, they needed to find more people to accompany them, but they didn't make this request to Yu Wenli. Why did they make this request to her? Su Xiao, there must be ghosts in it. Why? Su Xiao's head turned rapidly. Is it because she is an ordinary person? Can be better used by them? And Yu Wenli is a power awakener, so is it more difficult to control? That is to say, the people they find are likely to be ordinary people, and they are the targets they want, and if Yu Wenli wants to find people, he is likely to find people who have awakened abilities, so they are not the targets they want. But why do they need ordinary people? What is it for? You must be calm at this time, and there must be no mistakes in your judgment. Su Xiao told herself to calm down over and over again, telling herself that there must be no mistakes in judgment, otherwise it would cause irreparable consequences. It suddenly occurred to her that Xiao Fan could transform into an interstellar iron beetle. And those monsters were transformed by the interstellar iron beetle. Could it be that they have the ability to transform ordinary people in the shortest possible time? Or they can simply parasitize in the body of ordinary people. The sudden idea shocked Su Xiao herself, but my very keen intuition told me that my judgment was probably correct, and cold sweat began to ooze densely from Su Xiao's forehead. My base is very dangerous now. I must find a way to prevent this from happening, but what should I do now? In case of any conflict in the base will be completely destroyed. Moreover, many of my companions, including myself, do not have awakening abilities, so there is no possibility of surviving at all. Su Xiao forced herself not to panic, but to keep calm. Her brain was running fast, and finally her eyes lit up. She had a very adventurous idea. She turned around and opened the door and walked into the room, looked at the boys and girls staring at her and said, Sister knows that you're all lively and active children. You will definitely be suffocated in this underground base. How about playing hide and seek outside our base? Well, I will find many partners for you. All of them have no special abilities like my sister. Of course, if you have special abilities, you are not allowed to use them. We will play hide and seek based on our intuition. Okay, Su Xiao, this is a very lame reason. If it is replaced by anyone or some people, it is impossible to be lured out. But this time Su Xiao believes that she has a chance to succeed. If these guys really want to parasitize themselves or treat themselves if you make a transformation, you will definitely agree to your request, because they also want to secretly complete transformation or parasitic tasks without alerting others. So it is undoubtedly a very good opportunity for them to go outside the base to play hide and seek. Su Xiao believed that they would definitely seize this opportunity, but Yu Wenli watched from the sidelines and frowned. What is going on with Su Xiao? If these younger brothers and sisters are coaxed out, wouldn't that be delivering food to the interstellar iron beetle? The key is that our own base will also become very dangerous. Yu Wenli looked at Su Xiao with a puzzled face, but Su Xiao just glanced at her and said nothing. But it was this look that made Yu Wenli hold back her curiosity heart. Nothing to ask, because Yu Wenli saw from Su Xiao's eyes just now that she was extremely determined, and even had a spirit of sacrifice in it. Sure enough, Su Xiao's guess was correct, and a young girl immediately said, Sister, you are so kind, you are so thoughtful. We are indeed lively and active, and it is really very, very uncomfortable to be all here. Sister, then just take us outside to play hide and seek. We must find more big brothers to play with us. We promise not to use powers. We will rely on our own intuition to play games with big brothers. Su Xiao smiled and said, I knew you would agree, so I have asked some big brothers to hide outside just now, and now we can go out and find them. But I have one thing to say first. If you find them, if you can't find them, or even your sister, then you will lose. The loser must accept the punishment of my sister, and then you are not allowed to cry and play tricks." The girl smiled and said, "My sister is really considerate, so let's go out and play now. I promise I won't cry and play tricks. My sister also underestimates me. We are all very strong people, absolutely won't cry." Su Xiao looked at Yu Wenli and said, "Wenli, Mu Hong seemed to have something to do with you just now, so go and ask what's going on." "I think Mu Hong is always in a hurry," Yu Wenli then replied. "Then I'll go and have a look. I don't know what's going on with her," Yu Wenli said and left the room. Su Xiao looked at the boys and girls and said, "My dear friends, let's go outside to play hide and seek with my sister. Remember what you said, the loser must not cry." All the boys and girls stood up. None of them went out, but surrounded Su Xiao. A young girl said coldly, "You stinky woman, do you really treat us like children? Do you think you can trick us out like this? We were just acting with you just now. I don't know that you discovered us what a flaw, but it doesn't matter. I'll eat all your brains later. You will become a walking dead under my control, and then we will control more people through you. You let that damn stinky woman go open. It is more convenient for us to act. We must thank you well." If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136. But what made her feel regretful was that she still underestimated these boys and girls. They were far more cunning and terrifying than she imagined. It's a trivial matter to die by yourself. If you let these people use your body to do bad things, then you really don't regret dying. Su Xiao wanted to delay as long as possible, so she asked, "Are you still from the interstellar iron beetle?" A young man smiled coldly and said, "You are really very smart, a humble human woman with a very smart brain, but you can't be regarded as particularly smart. We are not people from interstellar iron beetles, because we are interstellar iron beetles. If it weren't for the fact that there are still some things that use you to accomplish, you would have all been killed by us long ago." Su Xiao smiled wryly and said, "We were really fooled this time, but it doesn't mean that you won. It's just that you are more despicable than we imagined. In order to confuse us, you deliberately turned into boys and girls to make us the biggest. Relax your vigilance and vigilance as much as possible. You guys are really despicable." A young girl sneered. "In this universe, there is no distinction between baseness and nobleness, only the distinction between life and death. In order to make ourselves stronger and better evolved, we will do whatever it takes. Blame the despicability of your enemies is just the last consolation you weaklings leave to yourselves." Su Xiao shook her head and said, "Even if we are all going to die, I believe you will pay a heavy price. I believe Xiao Fan will avenge us." "Definitely will," a young girl taunted. "You still trust him so much at this time. It is really beyond our expectations. Do you know that he is being played by our boss now, and will soon become a pawn in our boss's hands, a pawn that ruins the future of your planet? Is this the person you blindly believe in? I really feel very sad for you, and your blind superstition also makes me believe that you humans, as a despicable race, really there is no future." Su Xiao smiled and said, "Maybe your blind optimism will lead you to destruction. Who knows what will happen if things don't reach the final step? You say he is extremely stupid, but in my heart he is omnipotent. He is my belief, the support for me to live, and the support for all the people in our base to live." A girl sneered and said, "Then I'll send you to die first." Suddenly a beam of light shot out from the girl's eyes and shot into Su Xiao's brain. Su Xiao's body trembled violently, and then fell down without a sound, losing all vitality. The girl smiled and said, "What a sad woman. She still blindly believed in that so-called man in the end. I feel unfair for his fate, so now I am her. I want to avenge her and destroy all her humans. The nobles have sent a new order. No need to control these human corpses. Let us directly transform into these human forms." The other boys and girls also showed very cruel smiles, and that girl suddenly turned into Su Xiao's appearance. A boy asked, "What about the woman's body?" Fake Su Xiao replied ruthlessly, "Destroy this despicable human corpse completely." The boy suddenly opened his mouth wide, spit out a stream of corrosive liquid, and sprayed it on Su Xiao's body. But a strange scene happened. Su Xiao's body was intact. It was like splashing water on Su Xiao's body. Fake Su Xiao asked in shock, "What is going on? This lowly human has not even awakened her supernatural powers, and her body cannot be destroyed. What is going on? Can you tell me what to do? Can you explain it? The other boys and girls looked at each other in blank dismay, unable to explain clearly what happened before. The fake Su Xia squatted down, grabbed Su Xia's hair, and then wanted to examine Su Xia's body carefully, but at this moment Su Xia suddenly opened her eyes, and under the inconceivable eyes of other boys and girls, Su Xia stretched out her two hands and grabbed the fake Su Xia's head fiercely, and then tore off the fake Su Xia's head at an incredible speed. Su Xia stood up again, showing a cold smile and said, "Why, do you all feel very surprised?" A young man said, "Who are you? I can feel that your life characteristics are extremely powerful. You are not the woman just now at all." Su Xia sneered and said, "I have to say that your feeling is very accurate. I am indeed not the woman I was just now. When you started to plot against me, I started plotting against you. You self-righteous idiots, really, do you really think that I will just wait for you to chase and kill me?" A young boy exclaimed and said, "You are the original energy of this planet? But how dare you show yourself?" Su Xia sneered and said, "Why don't I dare to show up? Am I going to watch you kill everyone here? Your guess is very correct. I created the miracle here, but at the same time these abilities, the awakened ones, are also my hope for the future. How could I allow you to destroy all the people here? So why can't I show up?" The young man said, "It is indeed beyond our expectation that you can show up at this time, and there are some deviations from our plan. I admit that we were caught off guard. But it doesn't matter, because you only need to if you were able to appear. You fell into our trap. You are destined to become the nourishment for our offspring, and you will never have a chance to hide, so pray for yourself." Su Xia slapped him, and the boy's head was smashed to pieces. Su Xia sneered, "You self-righteous idiots, do you really think that you are extremely powerful? But in my eyes, you are all chickens and dogs. If I want your life, you have no resistance at all. Opportunity, even if you want to destroy this base, you can't do it. If you set a trap for me, why am I not setting you up, waiting for you to come here, and then killing you all?" A young girl shouted, "If you really dare to ask us to kill them all, our nobleman will definitely find out. At that time, the man you value the most, Xiao Fan, will also die in the hands of our nobleman. Think clearly about the consequences of all this." Chapter 137, The Power of Dreams. She sneered and said, "Do you really think it's possible that your noble lord can hurt Xiao Fan? I have seen through your self-righteous plot from the very beginning. Do you think you really have any chance?" A boy shouted loudly. We shot at the same time. It's a pity that as soon as his words fell, two beams of light shot out from Su Xia's eyes. These two beams of light instantly turned into a light curtain, covering all the boys and girls. At this moment, they seemed to be all frozen in an instant, losing their ability to move. Su Xia just smiled coldly, and the bodies of these boys and girls immediately turned into specks of dust and disappeared quickly. This is Su Xia's current way of killing people. Of course, strictly speaking, this is not Su Xia killing people, but the original energy using Su Xia to kill people. In the dream at this time, the girl in front of Xiao Fan's face suddenly changed dramatically, but Xiao Fan showed a sneer. The girl stared at Xiao Fan and said, "You've been acting with me." Xiao Fan sarcastically said, "Haven't you been acting with me all the time? You are really too much. You are only allowed to act with me, and you are not allowed to cooperate with you. You want to deceive me, and I am also deceiving you. So neither of us need to blame the other, and there is absolutely no need to do so, because only one side survives. The side that is about to die has no right to accuse the winner." The girl asked lightly, "How did you see my flaws?" Xiao Fan sneered and said, "I doubted you the first time I saw you. Do you know why? Because you did something superfluous to me, so your overcaution betrayed you." The girl said coldly, "You mean that the brief dizziness I caused you to appear made you start to doubt me?" Xiao Fan nodded and replied, "You are not too stupid. It is true that your superfluous action made me doubt you. You want your plan to succeed so much that you made such a mistake. You don't have to think about it. Thinking about it, Lin Xiaoxiao's obstruction of the real I can be understood as an accident, but I also had accidents, and they all happened when I was facing you. Don't you think that the chance of this is too small?" "May not doubt you," the girl nodded and replied, "It was indeed my negligence. I was too afraid of you. I didn't want you to see any flaws. I didn't expect that you caught the flaws. But I can't say no to my plan. Success. I originally planned to use you to lure the original energy to appear, and now the original energy has appeared." Xiao Fan sarcastically said, "Damn it, stop consoling yourself at this time. The original energy has appeared, but all your people are dead. Do you think you still have a chance to escape? The girl disdainfully said. Why don't I have a chance to escape? You are in my dream now, and I can even kill you in my dream. This is my unique ability. You can die in my dream, people will die in reality. Do you think you can really defeat me if you get in touch with the original energy? Xiao Fan shook his head and said, I really look down on you. Even to this point, you still put on a winning look in front of me. Do you really think that your ability can kill me? Let me tell you a very cruel fact. The power of the original energy of our planet is far beyond your imagination. She can break through your dreams and get in touch with me. We can cooperate with each other to destroy your body. You said your dreams, will it still exist? The girl was taken aback for a moment, and the smug expression on her face disappeared. Xiao Fan sneered, sometimes the brain is really a good thing. I advise you to make good use of it. But don't be too self-righteous, and treat other people as fools. That will only dig a hole for yourself. I hope you will live in the next life. If you can remember this painful lesson. Let's meet again. As soon as Xiao Fan finished speaking, the girl's whole body suddenly became illusory and let out a heart-piercing scream, but she disappeared soon. When Xiao Fan opened his eyes again, he saw Su Xia standing in front of him. It's just that Su Xia's temperament in front of her is completely different, and she gives people an extremely sacred feeling. Xiao Fan looked at Su Xia and said seriously, thank you very much. If you hadn't been outside the base, you would have contacted me and told me your whole plan. To be honest, I would have happened with them outside the base if there is no battle. People on my side are likely to suffer casualties, Su Xia said with a smile. At that time, you couldn't fight him in that scene. The ability of this interstellar iron beetle nobleman is very strange. It is a dream ability. At that time, all of you actually entered his dream. That's why Lin Xiaoxiao's real eyes were disturbed, and you were briefly dizzy. If you really fought him at that time, you were actually fighting him in a dream, and everyone including you everyone may die. Xiao Fan nodded, and at the same time felt very surprised that at that time he had already entered someone else's dream, but he himself didn't feel it at all. Su Xia went on to say, when she brought her own people into your base, the nobleman of the interstellar iron beetle let down his vigilance and released the rest of you from her dream. Only you continue to stay in her dream. That's why I can shoot without any scruples and kill all the subordinates of this interstellar iron beetle nobleman, and at the same time dare to destroy her body, because only you are strong enough not to. The damage to the noble body of the interstellar iron beetle affects your own awakening, and none of your other companions can do it. Xiao Fan understands that this is because he has fought in the last days for 50 years, and his body and will are extremely strong. Others have no such training at all, so they can't do it. Xiao Fan looked at Su Xia and said with a smile, this time, I really thank you very much. If it wasn't for you, our entire base might be destroyed. Su Xia replied lightly, it was because of my existence that they set their sights on your base, not to mention that you are my future. How could I allow them to destroy you easily? But in this way I also, if I'm exposed, my situation will be even more difficult in the future, and your situation will also become extremely difficult. You must be mentally prepared for this. Even people around you will die. Are you really prepared? Chapter 138 The Warning of the Original Energy. Su Xia smiled bitterly and said, I know that this result may be very cruel to you, and even more cruel to your partner, but this is a fact that cannot be escaped. Xiao Fan asked, if possible, I hope you can continue to hide. Su Xia shook her head and replied, I have no possibility to escape. I can only fight them face to face. There is no place for me to hide on this planet. So where can I hide? Xiao Fan asked, I want to know what kind of existence you are as the original energy. Su Xia smiled and said, a more advanced life form. I can transform into any form of energy, such as gas, liquid or solid, and at the same time, these three forms can be transformed into life forms at any time. I know it's hard to understand, but this is my real existence. Xiao Fan thought for a while and said, actually, I still hope that you can hide. Your real future is our real future. Only after you hide, can we continue to fight. Although there are many nobles of the interstellar iron beetle just now the words are all nonsense. But I know that there is one sentence he said is true, that is, all of us are your energy parasites. If you are really in any danger, we will inevitably perish. So from this point of view, even if it is for our own consideration, I hope you will continue to hide and not face the interstellar iron beetle directly. Su Xia listened very carefully. Xiao Fan continued, if you really face the interstellar iron beetle, they will definitely concentrate all their strength and launch a general attack on us. At that time, we will not be able to withstand their attack at all. Our fate is doomed. Of course, your fate is also doomed. If you can hide, those interstellar iron beetles have a lot of concerns, worrying that after killing us all, you will never show up again, and we will be safer instead. Su Xiao nodded and said, what you said has some truth, but where can I hide? There is no place on this planet for me to hide. Forced out, Xiao Fan asked very seriously, are you willing to believe me? Su Xiao also replied very seriously, you are like my relatives, more like my child. Of course I am willing to believe you, Xiao Fan said with a smile, as long as you believe in me, this matter will be easy. Can you transform yourself into a solid form, and then I will take your solid form into my supernatural space, so the interstellar iron beetle will definitely can't find yours. Su Xiao stared at Xiao Fan for a long time before saying, if I become a solid energy form, I will fall into deep sleep. No matter what danger you encounter, I will not be able to come out to help you again. At that time, it has also become very difficult to wake me up. Are you really determined to do this? Xiao Fan nodded and replied, I decided to do this, but before you go into deep sleep, can you help me awaken more companions and let them all awaken their abilities, so that my power will become more powerful, and we will have a certain ability to protect ourselves. When facing the interstellar iron beetle, we will also have a certain ability to fight back. Su Xiao nodded and said, I can agree to your request, but it only requires me to give some original energy. It's not a big deal for me. Xiao Fan hurriedly said gratefully, thank you very much, I will definitely protect you, and I will definitely regard your safety as our greatest protection in the future. Su Xiao thought for a while and said, I think it's better not to let me fall into deep sleep as a whole. I want to keep a part of my energy by your side. Of course, it is a very small part of energy, so small that it can make the interstellar iron beetle neglect. But it is very important to you. When necessary, you can use this part of the energy I left behind to awaken my main body. Xiao Fan hurriedly said, it's not good to do this. Do you still want to stay in my friend's body? Su Xiao smiled and said, I think you misunderstood me. I will not continue to occupy your friend's body. I can actually transform into your human form. I can transform into any form of life on this planet. It will give this human form an independent consciousness, and you also have to keep the identity of my form a secret, and you can't tell my true origin to my remaining human body. Can you do it? Xiao Fan asked in puzzlement. Why do you want to do this? Su Xiao explained, only if we have different and independent consciousnesses, it is impossible for the interstellar iron beetle to find my other form through one of my forms. Xiao Fan nodded, fully understanding. Su Xiao suddenly laughed and said, do you want my human form to be a man or a woman? Or an old man or an old lady? Xiao Fan hurriedly said, if possible, I think it should be a very beautiful girl, a man or an old man, or an old lady. I don't think it is necessary. Su Xiao smiled and said, but I want to persuade you. I can leave you with a very beautiful girl, so you can't get her idea. Xiao Fan laughed awkwardly. It's impossible. I know she's not a human being, so how could I have that kind of thought? Please rest assured, I will only take care of her as my own sister. Su Xiao nodded and said with satisfaction, it's the best that you can promise like this, and I am completely relieved. I know you well. You are good at everything, but you are too greedy. Take a look. There are so many yin and yang around you, and you don't even have a brother. Xiao Fan scratched his scalp and said, let's change the subject. Although all these interstellar iron bugs are dead, they will definitely send out the information they have, so we will be even more dangerous in the future. You better hide as soon as possible. Su Xiao nodded and replied, I understand what you mean. Before I hide, let me help you lay a good foundation for your people. When their opportunity comes, they will naturally awaken smoothly. Yes, you won't encounter any danger. This is the last thing I can do for you. You will have to rely more on yourself in the future. After Xiao Fan listened to it, he felt very complicated. This is the first time he and the original energy face to face. He had never been in contact with the original energy in the last apocalypse, but Xiao Fan also knows that the original energy has been silently guarding. Otherwise, I would not be able to fight for so long in the apocalypse. So when I heard the original energy at this moment, I felt an inexplicable sadness, as if I wanted to say goodbye to my old friends. Chapter 139 Yuanlian number 039, S Curiosity. Su Xiao looked at Xiao Fan with some confusion and asked, Xiao Fan, why are you here? Where are we now? I can die. How can you die too? Xiao Fan said with a helpless wry smile. Sister Xia, please take a closer look. You are in my room now. Neither of us is dead. Su Xia hurriedly looked around, then bit one of her own fingers, let out a scream, and confirmed that she was really not dead. Su Xia immediately showed an ecstatic expression and said, "What's going on? Xiao Fan, you saved me, right?" Xiao Fan nodded and replied, "It's also Miss Xia's own luck. That's why I have the chance to save you." Of course, Xiao Fan can't tell the matter of the original energy. It's not that Xiao Fan doesn't believe in anyone, but the matter itself is too important, so he can only know it by himself, and absolutely no second person is allowed to know it. It's not about trust, it's just that the secret is so big. Su Xia smiled and said, "Xiao Fan, it's great to see you again. I really thought I'd never see you again. I didn't know why at the time, but I felt very sorry that I didn't have the chance to be with you. You bid farewell, but never thought that I am not dead, and I can continue to be with you. It is really great," Xiao Fan said with a smile. "Sister Xia, you are actually very good. This time I was able to see their flaws, which really surprised me. I think otherwise, the second person in charge should let you do it." "Well, I think Xiao will agree. You are indeed more suitable than her," Su Xia replied seriously. "There is no need to worry about this. I will definitely help Xiao. Xiao's eye of truth is also very powerful. I think the two of us will cooperate better. There is no need to say who is the second person in charge, and who is not the second person in charge." Xiao Fan thought for a while and nodded. What Su Xia said just now is very reasonable, as long as she is sincerely thinking about the base. There is no need to use a name. At this time, Mu Hong, Yu Wenli and the others came to Xiao Fan's room together. They went to find Su Xia just now but couldn't find them, and all the boys and girls disappeared. They felt very strange, so they immediately checked the entire base, but found nothing abnormal. So they came to Xiao Fan, but they didn't expect Su Xia to be here too. Yu Wenli hurriedly asked, "What happened just now? Where did all those people go?" Xiao Fan thought about the wording and said, "Actually, we were all fooled just now. Those boys and girls are all interstellar iron beetles, and one of the interstellar iron beetles has a special dream ability. We were all in the interstellar iron beetle just now. In the dream, fortunately, I saw some flaws, saw through their true identities, and then used the dream to kill them all. Of course, Sister Xia performed very well. Without her cooperation, I would have seen through those interstellar iron beetles. It will be difficult to kill them all." Xiao Fan did not want to monopolize the credit for this, but he had to say this. He can't tell the matter of the original energy. This is a secret that must not be known to the second person, so it can only be explained in this way. Mu Hong broke out in a cold sweat after hearing this, and said with lingering fear, "It was so scary just now. We all entered someone else's dream. Only you saw it. If you didn't see it, our entire base, it will also become very dangerous, and even our entire base may be destroyed," Xiao Fan said with a smile. "I can't say that I'm the only one who saw it. Didn't Miss Xiao also have doubts? And if the little eye of reality hadn't been attacked, it would definitely be able to see through the dream of the interstellar iron beetle. Yes. In short, this is a very serious lesson for us. We must be more careful in the future. There are too many types of supernatural powers. If we are not careful, we will fall into the trap of the interstellar iron beetle." Both Yu Wenli and Su Xia nodded their heads. Xiao Fan continued, "It's fine for a few of our core members to know about this matter. Don't spread the word on a large scale. It won't do any good for more people to know. It will dampen their confidence and cause unnecessary panic." Yu Wenli said, "Just do as you said, but how did you use the dream to kill them all? Can you tell me in detail?" The reason why Yu Wenli asked this was because she was very curious. When she asked this question, Mu Hong also looked at Xiao Fan very curiously. Xiao Fan couldn't help complaining in her heart, "What the hell, I didn't do it at all. I can't even make it up. Yu Wenli, you are simply a stinky bitch. You are the only one who is very curious, right? If no one else asks, just ask yourself. Wait a while and see how I deal with you." Xiao Fan was complaining in his heart, but with a warm smile on his face, he said, "We will talk about this later. I am a little tired now. By the way, I have to go outside the base to take a look, so that there is no danger or accident." Xiao Fan is actually avoiding answering this question, and he is also going to meet someone, that is the human form of the original energy. We can't let a stranger suddenly appear in the base. It will make everyone suspicious, In order not to cause unnecessary doubts and guesses, Xiao Fan and the original energy agreed to let the human form of the original energy come to Xiao Fan for a while. This is very easy to control, as long as the original energy keeps the consciousness of refuge in its human form. Just do it in your head. Yu Wenli sounded a little baffled. Xiao Fan seemed to have never been like this before. Just now she clearly saw a trace of unnaturalness in Xiao Fan's expression, although the unnaturalness was just a flash, but Yu Wenli can confirm that she did not have it at all. Wrong. It seems that the stinky man in front of me is definitely not telling the truth to me. There must be something hidden from me. Now if you don't want to talk about grandma, don't ask. Wait until you find a suitable opportunity to see if you tell me or not. Mu Hong didn't worry about it. Anyway, she wasn't that curious. As long as the result was good, Xiao Fan could talk about the specific process if she wanted to, and it didn't matter if she didn't want to. Xiao Fan walked out while muttering in his heart, the human form of the original energy will come later. How should I arrange for her? It is necessary to ensure her absolute safety and let her play the greatest role. It's really hard to do this. Chapter 140 The Arrival of Xiao Li. Fang Min and Lin Xiao came to him. Fang Min asked, "Why did you come out? Where are those little brothers and little sisters?" Xiao Fan calmly explained, "It's not any little brother or sister, they are all interstellar iron beetles, and I have already killed them all." Lin Xiao suddenly realized, no wonder my eyes of reality are stung when I see them. They must be interfering on purpose. These damn bastards are really bad. Fortunately, Xiao is always so good, otherwise, our entire base will be very dangerous, and Mr. Xiao saved all of us again. Xiao Fan looked at Lin Xiao's adoring gaze, not to mention that he enjoyed it quite a bit. If he said that any man would not enjoy the admiration of a woman, he would be lying. Xiao Fan intentionally pretended, "It's just a small thing, it's my responsibility to protect you. You don't have to worry about it at all, I will be your patron saint from now on. Of course, you have to be vigilant yourself. When I'm not by your side, you must become more cautious, and things like today are resolutely not allowed to happen again." Both Fang Min and Lin Xiao nodded hastily. At this time, another girl walked away from a distance. This girl looked about 16 or 17 years old, and she was very beautiful. She was wearing tight underwear to set off her figure perfectly, especially a pair of water. The big barking eyes make people unable to look away after one glance. Xiao Fan knew that the person he was waiting for was coming, but Fang Min and Lin Xiao became extremely nervous. Another girl came. Isn't the damn interstellar iron beetle a little too stupid? Such a method is used again and again, and he doesn't take himself seriously. Could it be that he is so stupid in the eyes of the interstellar iron beetle? Lin Xiao hurriedly looked over with the eyes of reality. Hey, he didn't see anything wrong. It didn't seem to be an interstellar iron beetle, so Lin Xiao kept silent. But Fang Min shouted coldly, "Stop, who are you to report your identity? Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to you." Xiao Fan laughed hurriedly. "Fang Min, you don't have to be too nervous about this. She is really a person, not an interstellar iron beetle," Xiao Fan said and walked towards the girl. Xiao Fan came to the girl and said, "You should come to seek refuge with me, right?" A gleam of light flashed in the girl's eyes and she asked, "Are you Xiao Fan?" Xiao Fan nodded hastily and replied, "I'm the one you want to rely on." The girl grabbed Xiao Fan's hand in surprise and said, "My name is Xiao Li. I didn't expect to find you after all the hard work. I even prepared a lot of gifts for you." Xiao Fan couldn't help a wry smile in his heart. All the hardships must be fake. It's all the memory implanted in advance by the original energy. Xiao Li thinks so. In fact, Xiao Li has just been created. Xiao Fan doesn't know whether it is appropriate to use the word manufacture, but he can't think of a better word for a while, so let's use this word for the time being. Xiao Fan said with a smile, "Let's go in and talk. It's more dangerous to talk here. You may be found by the interstellar iron beetle at any time. It's safer to go inside the base." Xiao Li nodded seriously, and immediately agreed. In her pre-implanted memory, there was a kind of blind trust and kindness toward Xiao Fan. Xiao Fan will cooperate better in the future without forming any gaps, of course. She didn't even realize what she might have overlooked in the arrangement of the original energy. Xiao Li took Xiao Fan's hand, bouncing towards the base. Lin Xiao couldn't help but wondered, "Sister Min, why do I feel that something is very wrong? Mr. Xiao seems to have come here specially to wait for this girl. and this girl was very intimate with Mr. Xiao when they met for the first time. This is very abnormal, very strange. There must be a story between the two of them that we don't know. But this girl is obviously a young girl. Xiao will not do anything to her, right? Wang Min snorted. He still can't do such a beastly thing, right? I don't seem to have much confidence in him all of a sudden. I think it's better for me to take a look at the past. Xiao, stay outside and be vigilant bar, Lin Xiao hurriedly said. Miss Min, I know you are very curious. But I just emphasize the issue of discipline, that is, no matter how curious you are, you must endure it and take your responsibilities properly. Wang Min had no choice but to nod his head helplessly. Who made Lin Xiao the second person in charge now? Lin Xiao added, since Miss Min is very curious, I must also satisfy Miss Min's curiosity, so I will go and see what's going on from Miss Min. After I understand everything, I will come back and tell you what is going on. I will explain everything to Sister Min in detail, and I promise that there will be no concealment. Lin Xiao turned around and walked back to the base, leaving behind Wang Min, who was in a daze. At this moment, Wang Min felt regretful. If he had known such a result earlier, he would have fought for the second responsibility for whatever he said at the time. Man, look at Lin Xiao's stinky fart now. It's like using a chicken feather as an arrow. Wang Min couldn't help but snorted heavily, but he had no choice but to continue to be vigilant. Xiao Fan brought Xiao Li to his room, and said, Xiao Li, since you have come to seek refuge with me. But I have to say something first, because I must be absolutely responsible for your safety, and I cannot let you if you suffer any harm. You must not leave this base without my order, and try to keep as little contact with other people as possible. Can you understand what I said? Xiao Lian nodded, indicating that she understood everything. The reason why Xiao Fan told this little girl not to have too much contact with other people is mainly to protect Xiao Li's identity. If she gets in touch with too many people, it is inevitable that someone will ask her about her identity. If she asks too much, maybe any leaks will be exposed, and Xiao Li's identity will be in danger of being exposed, so for absolute safety, Xiao Li's identity must be kept absolutely secret. Even if it is my own people I trust very much, they must keep absolute secrecy at this stage. This is not only good for Xiao Li, but also has great benefits for other people. The less secrets you know, the safer you will be. This is an iron law that will never change. What's more, Xiao Fan still doesn't know how many methods the interstellar iron beetle has to detect the original energy. Of course, it can only be kept absolutely confidential to prevent the various methods of the interstellar iron beetle. Chapter 141 Xiao Li and number 039, S gift. Xiao Li nodded again after listening, expressing that he understood and would do what Xiao Fan said. Xiao Fan is also very satisfied. At this time, Xiao Li took out a box and said, Big brother, this is a gift from me. There are many good things in it. Open it and have a look, I guarantee you will find it useful. Don't be too moved by then. Xiao Fan couldn't help complaining in his heart. What's the matter with the original energy? Why did you make Xiao Li so cute? Could it be that the original energy is actually a girl? In order not to affect her image, that's why she made Xiao Li so cute? Xiao Fan smiled and replied, then let Big Brother see what kind of gift it is. After receiving the delicate wooden box, Xiao Fan opened it and was shocked immediately. There were dozens of high-grade crystal nuclei inside. Xiao Fan immediately thought of Suxia and the others. Now I should help them awaken their abilities. With a foundation laid by the original energy body in the early stage, and now with the crystal nucleus sent by Xiao Li, they should all be able to awaken their abilities smoothly and without any problems. So Xiao Fan said, Xiao Li, you wait here for the Big Brother first. Don't run around, the Big Brother will come back soon. If you feel tired, take a rest here. Xiao Li nodded obediently, and then really lay down on the bed, closing her eyes slightly. Xiao Fan took a look at the wooden box and turned to leave. Just as he opened the door, he saw three people eavesdropping outside. One was Lin Xiao, the other was Fang Fair, and the third was Mu Ying. Fang Fair was knocked out by Xiao Fan, and said with some embarrassment, My good brother, if my sister said it was just out of curiosity, would you believe my sister's words? Xiao Fan said speechlessly, Of course I believe it, but my sister is going to trouble you with one thing now. The three of you immediately split up and find all the sisters who have not awakened their abilities. I have something very important to tell them. Let them all wait for me in the big conference room. Don't delay. Fang Fei left in a hurry as if she had been pardoned. Lin Xiao stuck out her tongue and left. Mu Ying pretended to be lost and muttered something, turned around and left too. Soon, more and more people gathered in the big meeting room. Yang Yun, Yang Kan, Su Xia, Tan Fifei, Qiao Yun, Hu Miao and other female soldiers who had not yet awakened their abilities all came. Even Zhang Weilan's mother came. They couldn't figure out what happened. They chattered non-stop. Only Su Xia seemed to realize something, with an imperceptible smile on the corner of her mouth, and more anticipation in her eyes. Xiao Fan finally walked into the conference room, still holding the wooden box in his hand. All the women soldiers immediately stopped talking and looked at Xiao Fan. Xiao Fan smiled slightly and said, I know you have always wanted to awaken your abilities, and now I can grant your wish. Your safety can be guaranteed during the process of awakening your abilities, but there is one ugly thing I must say first. If any of you can't do it, then this time the power awakening will be excluded. Tan Fifei immediately asked, Mr. Xiao, what do you mean by being so serious? We feel scared in our hearts. What kind of conditions are they? Tell us quickly and let us listen, and we will all agree. Yes, yes, we will all agree. The other women soldiers hurriedly followed suit. Only a fool would sing the opposite at this time. Xiao Fan smiled and said, that is, you must obey me. No matter what supernatural power you awaken, you are not allowed to inflate me, just thinking that you will become extremely powerful, and always want to find someone to compete with or something. Don't even think about this kind of thing. Can you all do it? A group of female soldiers hurriedly answered in unison that it can be done. Xiao Fan actually hid them on purpose. How could he really exclude anyone? The main reason is that after all these women have awakened their abilities one by one, they all feel that they are great, and then start to make troubles. Would the whole base be messed up like that? So for them, they must be knocked in advance. After the knocking, there is not much nonsense. Xiao Fan sent all Xiao Fan's crystal nuclei one by one, and then asked them to go back to their rooms to prepare for the awakening ability. There will be no danger, so there is no need for Xiao Fan to stare at them one by one. Of course, these women soldiers can't use so many crystal cores, and there are dozens of them left. Xiao Fan found Zhang Weilan's father, first gave him one crystal core, and then asked him to pick dozens of people out. A batch of awakened abilities. Xiao Fan has only one requirement for the selected people, that is, they must be reliable. The reason why the emphasis is on reliability rather than loyalty is because Xiao Fan also knows that these people are not his direct descendants, and they are not even recruited by himself. It is too much to ask them to be loyal to him right away, so as long as you are reliable, loyalty can be built slowly. Zhang Weilan's father also knew the importance of this kind of thing. Now that there are so many supernatural beings awakened at once, if a few of them are more cunning and have other different ideas, then it is likely to cause great losses. After all, it is very easy for ordinary people to control it, but it is very difficult to control the supernatural being who suddenly destroys it immediately. Besides, even if it can be controlled immediately, the supernatural person may cause great damage to the base in an instant, and the consequences are not something he can afford. So Zhang Weilan's father selected the first batch of reliable people based on his knowledge of these people. Of course, those who are not selected must also do a good job of psychological counseling, telling them that this is the awakening of abilities in batches. Everyone will have a chance, as long as you usually perform well enough. The next batch of awakened abilities people are you. No one needs to be jealous because everyone will eventually awaken their abilities. It's just a matter of time, once this kind of psychological work is done. The mentality of those who are not selected will stabilize, they will not have other ideas, and no one will complain. Instead, they will work harder in the future to do their own work well. Strive for the next batch of them will also be able to awaken their abilities, so this time Zhang Weilan's father did it very well. Chapter 142 Lin Xiao is a gun. When she came to Su Xia's room, Su Xia was meditating with her eyes closed. Hearing the knock on the door, Su Xia opened her eyes to let Xiao Fan in. Xiao Fan smiled with concern. Awakening supernatural powers is a big deal after all. Sister Xia can tell me if you have any difficulties, and if you need my help, don't be shy. We are a family and we can do it. Absolute trust in each other, Su Xia said with a smile. Xiao Fan, I am really grateful that you care about me so much. I know what you are worried about, so I don't need to worry so much now. I will slowly adjust myself and get rid of my mental state as soon as possible. It was adjusted. Xiao Fan nodded with a smile and said, Sister Xia, since you said that, I'm relieved. You should be well prepared. I'll go see other people." Looking at the back of Xiao Fan, who turned and left, Su Xia actually shed 2 lines of tears. She didn't know why she shed tears. Whether it was because of emotion or regret, she couldn't tell herself. Xiao Fan went to look at Yang Qin and Yang Yun again. The sisters hadn't cared for a long time. Xiao Fan chatted with them for a while and told them some tricks of awakening their abilities. Xiao Fan didn't bother them too much. Left. I went to see Qiao Yun and Hu Miao again, and left after chatting for a while. It's not that Xiao Fan doesn't care about them. Originally, they wouldn't encounter any danger in awakening their abilities. If I talked too much about it with them, it might increase their psychological burden. That would be completely unnecessary, and the loss outweighs the gain. Well, it's better to just stop there. Xiao Fan was about to go back to his room, but saw Lin Xiaoxiao. Lin Xiaoxiao seemed to be waiting for Xiao Fan intentionally, and Xiao Fan came to Lin Xiaoxiao. Lin Xiaoxiao said solemnly, "Mr. Lin, I think there are some things that I have to discuss with you seriously. This is a very serious issue. Both of us are the leaders of the base, so I can't watch you commit crimes wrong. There are some things I should tell you, so I must tell you." Listening to Lin Xiaoxiao's words, Xiao Fan felt a little funny. Lin Xiaoxiao stared into Xiao Fan's eyes and said, "I said, Mr. Lin, what kind of expression do you have? Do you think I'm joking with you? I'm talking to you very seriously. Follow me, come on. I think we have to go deeper into this conversation. I can't just watch you make mistakes. This is irresponsible to you, and also irresponsible to our entire base. As the base's second person in charge, can't watch such a mistake happen." Lin Xiaoxiao turned around and walked towards his room. Xiao Fan thought for a while and followed. Soon came to Lin Xiaoxiao's room. Lin Xiaoxiao waited for Xiao Fan to come in and locked the door behind his back. Xiao Fan folded his hands on his chest in a vicious manner and said pitifully, "Second person in charge, what exactly do you want to do? Don't use your power to force me to do something I don't want to do. He is a very clean-spirited person, and I absolutely cannot sell my soul, let alone my body. Don't think about making me accept your abuse. I will never give in to you no matter what." Lin Xiaoxiao showed a look of disdain and said, "Mr. Xiao, just save yourself. Don't act with me here. I'm telling you something very serious now. The little girl just now is really very small. What are you doing? What do you mean? Just leave people in your room? Have you considered the impact? Do you know that you are doing too much, and let your sisters think of you and think of you? What is your taste? Time has become so strange. Do you want to attack such a little girl specifically?" Xiao Fan said with a black line on his forehead. Xiao, you really misunderstood me. I am her big brother, and I will never do anything to Xiao Li, otherwise I am not a beast. Isn't it better? Don't worry, you have to believe in my character. The things you are worried about will never happen to me. I still have a bottom line in my life. I think we both. There is no need to talk between the two. You are completely unfounded." Lin Xiaoxiao grabbed Xiao Fan, stopped him from leaving, and said, "You can't just be beautiful with your words. Your actions must also be trusted by us, so that's okay. Do you think I'm the only one talking to you? I'm speaking to you on behalf of a lot of people, and this conversation between us is very serious. I know you want to rush back to your room. There's someone on your mind. I get it, but I'm talking to you now. The talk is for a lot of sisters, you understand." Only then did Xiao Fan understand what was going on. After a long time, it wasn't Lin Xiaoxiao who wanted to talk to him, but someone pushed Lin Xiaoxiao to the front desk, so Lin Xiaoxiao had to have this conversation with him. Xiao Fan didn't even need to ask, he could immediately figure out whose idea it was. Xiao Fan sighed helplessly and asked, "If that's the case, then tell me, what should I do to gain your trust? Everything I say is the truth. Don't tell me I'm a good person. Is my character so untrustworthy in your eyes? Don't you know that what you do will make me feel very sad? I really didn't expect that my character is so good in your eyes and in your heart." "It sucks," Lin Xiaoxiao said very seriously. "It is very simple to gain our trust. You can't leave that little sister in your room. You must let that little sister stay with me and stay by my side. In this way only then can we have trust in you, and we can trust your character." Xiao Fan felt a deep sense of powerlessness, and said that this is the only way to trust herself, which is completely nonsense. This is obviously to guard yourself against thieves. "Okay, when did my Xiao Fan get so bad? Mu Hong, Yuan Li, Mu Ying, You all wait for me one by one. When we have to settle accounts, don't blame me for being ruthless, and see how I will deal with you severely. How dare you take Lin Xiao as a pawn? The gunman, and even dare to point a gun at me. It is simply deceiving. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143 She is your bastard daughter. So he said, are you trying to take revenge on us now? Xiao Fan had no choice but to bow his head under the eaves, and hurriedly said, as the first person in charge here, I always have to be magnanimous. You just made some comments to me. How could I be petty and want to retaliate against you? Lin Xiao snorted, you'd better tell the truth. If you tell lies or take revenge on us in the future, I will never let you go. Then I will let you know that I am not easy to mess with. Little end. Xiao Fan asked with a confused face, may I ask why you are not easy to mess with, my aunt? Lin Xiao raised her chin proudly and said, when the time comes, I will give you a cry, make trouble, and hang yourself, so that everyone will know that you bully me. Anyway, I don't worry about losing face, Grandma, it's up to you. Do you want to save face? Xiao Fan was completely speechless. He was really blind. Why did he find such a douchebag as the second person in charge? At that time, I shouldn't have too many worries, so I should directly designate Tu as the second person in charge? Then now I won't face such a funny and speechless person. Of course, Xiao Fan can only think in his heart now, what's the use of regretting, especially the teaser in front of me obviously has backing. If I really offend this teaser, believe it or not, a group of women will come out and scratch me to death. Xiao Fan smiled wryly and said, I'm scared, my aunt can do whatever she says. Don't use it to cry, make trouble, hang yourself, I'm really scared, Lin Xiao said triumphantly, since you have confessed yourself, just do as I said, and quickly bring that little sister to my room. From now on, she will be mine. I will give it to you now. You make a rule, don't come to my room when you have nothing to do, and I will go to your room to find you if there is anything to do. Don't hang around in front of your little sister when you have nothing to do. If there is anything I can help you tell. Xiao Fan gritted his teeth and said, Lin Xiao, I warn you not to go too far. Lin Xiao put her arms on her chest indifferently and asked, is Mr. Xiao threatening me? I really want to cry now. Lin Xiao's eyes immediately became rosy, with two big tears in his eyes. Xiao Fan couldn't help scolding his mother. This is a genius. If he planned to make a movie in this base, Lin Xiao would definitely. She is the best heroine. She can cry as much as she wants, and she doesn't need props for these tears. This is really awesome. Seeing Xiao Fan's bewildered face, Lin Xiao smiled and said, Mr. Xiao, you have seen my strength now. So I advise you to take care of yourself, and don't provoke me when you are free. You can't coax me. I'm not like other sisters who can be coaxed with a few sweet words, Xiao Fan said helplessly. Okay, everything will be done according to what you said. You are really awesome. I am completely convinced of you. But there are a few things I have to explain to you. Xiao Li is very important to us. It is very special. We must ensure that no one else can get in touch with her, and try to keep her from showing up as little as possible. Even if all our bases are destroyed, we cannot let her directly face the interstellar iron beetle. She will be the key protection of all of us in the future. Goal, can you achieve it? Lin Xiao asked differently after listening. Mr. Xiao, how can you treat her so well? After listening to it, I feel sore in my heart. You must honestly explain what is the relationship between you and her? Don't say there is no relationship. I don't believe you when you say that. Could it be that the two of you are old friends? Xiao Fan wanted to strangle this little girl in front of him to death. What nonsense. How old is Xiao Li? How could he be his fellow villager? Lin Xiao also seemed to realize that this possibility is unlikely, so she said, it seems that it is not right to say that. Xiao Li is too young to be your old friend. Lin Xiao's beautiful big eyes moved strangely, and suddenly she shouted, Mr. Xiao, I understand. Tell me the truth, is Xiao Li your illegitimate daughter? It must be so, yes, otherwise, it is absolutely impossible for you to be so kind to her. Tell me the truth quickly, who is Xiao Li's mother? Xiao Fan is completely petrified this time. What the hell? Lin Xiao has opened his mind a lot this time. You are a fucking talent. I'm an illegitimate daughter. You can even think of this. Think about it with your brain. How old is I? If you don't count rebirth, you are only in your 20s, but Xiao Li is now 16 or 17 years old. If it is really your illegitimate daughter, then it's too awesome. That woman is less than 10 years old. Xiao Fan really wanted to beat up the little girl in front of him, but suddenly he held back. Such a guess would actually not do him too much harm, if he could not explain the relationship between himself and Xiao Li clearly. Not only Lin Xiao and himself are endless, but other people will definitely get to the bottom of it. Thinking about it, I feel very troubled. Why don't I deny or admit it myself, and let Lin Xiao freely develop this idea? This will also bring benefits, at least no one will doubt it. I made up Xiao Li's idea. More importantly, no one will get to the bottom of Xiao Li's identity, so Xiao Li's identity will be more conducive to confidentiality, and Xiao Li's safety will be more guaranteed. Thinking of this, Xiao Fan couldn't help but lowered his head, neither defending nor denying it. Lin Xiao was shocked. Just now she knew she was talking nonsense, but seeing Xiao Fan's reaction now, could it be true? Lin Xiao grabbed Xiao Fan's hand and asked excitedly, "Mr. Xiao, is it true that I was right? Is Xiao Li really your daughter? You are too beastly. You started to harm women when you were young? You are not an ordinary beast. You are even more beast than a beast. Mr. Xiao, this has really refreshed my understanding of you. There is no lower limit for your beast. When you were so young, which woman actually fell in love with you?" Xiao Fan suddenly realized that his plan was a little unreliable, and he couldn't bear it anymore. Just as Xiao Fan was about to deny it, the door of Lin Xiao's room was suddenly pushed open. Both Xiao Fan and Lin Xiao looked over, and it turned out to be Yang Yun. Seeing the excitement on Yang Yun's face, she shouted with uncontrollable excitement, Xiao, I'm going to tell you great news. I have also awakened my ability. I just successfully awakened my ability. I really never thought that one day I can awaken my ability. Chapter 144 must explain clearly. Lin Xiao hurriedly let go of Xiao Fan, and explained embarrassingly, Yang Yun, don't get me wrong, it's not what you imagined. It's because I heard a news that shocked me just now, so I couldn't help but pull Mr. Xiao's hand to prove it. So there is no ambiguity between us holding hands, it's just holding hands. Yang Yun asked suspiciously, what kind of news makes you so shocked that you can't help it? Xiao Fan couldn't help scolding her mother's skin in her heart, and was about to stop it. In order to prove her innocence, Lin Xiao sold Xiao Fan without hesitation. She said, Mr. Xiao, you actually have an illegitimate daughter, and it's a big illegitimate daughter. Yang Yun opened her mouth wide, and Xiao Fan felt like she could stuff a fist into it. At this moment, Xiao Fan had a feeling of pain that she couldn't live without. I'm afraid she couldn't get rid of it by jumping into the Yellow River, and she had an illegitimate daughter for no apparent reason. Xiao Fan originally thought that Yang Yun would ask something, at least understand it according to human nature, you need to prove it, and then Xiao Fan can defend herself, but Yang Yun didn't play cards according to common sense. She turned around and went out. Xiao Fan felt a little weak all of a sudden. It was completely over. No matter whether he changed his mind now, it seemed that it didn't make much sense. It was completely over. Xiao Fan looked at Lin Xiao and said angrily, I said you can't keep it a secret from me? You haven't figured out whether she is my illegitimate daughter, so you told me so loudly. Now I can't tell if I have a mouth, and soon everyone will know that I have an illegitimate daughter. What do you want me to do? Lin Xiao said seriously, Mr. Xiao, why are you so angry? Did I say something wrong just now? I don't think I said anything wrong just now, and I didn't do anything wrong. I'm holding your hand because I was so excited. She never had an affair with you. If I don't explain it clearly, it will have a great impact on my reputation. She is a pure girl, and she has never even held a man's hand. Xiao Fan sneered and said, Lin Xiao, maybe you used to be pure, but from now on, you are no longer pure, because you have already held my hand just now, and I want you to. Xiao Fan hugged Lin Xiao tightly and gagged her tightly. This lasted for 5 minutes, and Lin Xiao was almost suffocated to death. Xiao Fan felt that he was having difficulty breathing, so he let go of Lin Xiao, smacked his lips and said, It's not bad, the mouth doesn't smell bad, it's just a little too big. Lin Xiao was so aggrieved that she was about to cry. Xiao Fan ran away immediately. Lin Xiao looked at Xiao Fan's back and suddenly laughed, and said to herself, "It's really enjoyable, you little Fan, you're dead. Even if you're covered in mouths, you won't be able to speak clearly. From now on you can only consciously keep a certain distance from Xiao Li." As soon as Xiao Fan walked out of Lin Xiao's room, he saw a group of people standing in front of him. All of them had very ugly faces, especially Yu Wenli's eyes were full of unkindness. He seemed to be able to eat people. Xiao Fan hurriedly asked, "What do you mean by me? Now that I've awakened all of your abilities one by one, don't you want to rebel? You feel that your wings are hard, so you can ride on my neck and make a move? Is it a blessing? I advise you to think carefully. If you really want to rebel, the consequences will be very serious." Yu Wenli sneered and said, "Don't fool us sisters with such big words. Our sisters didn't rebel but were a little curious. Mr. Xiao usually looks like a dog, but he is doing such shameful deeds behind his back. Tell us the truth, to be honest. Where did your illegitimate daughter come from? Which young woman did you have? Our sisters are just curious about this matter. Other things are meaningless, let alone rebellion. Of course, if you can't explain clearly, if you don't, our sisters think you're dishonest. Maybe you'll really rebel?" Xiao Fan looked at Zhang Weilin and said, "Weilin, it's fine for them to mess around, but are you fooling around too?" Zhang Weilin explained with a look of embarrassment, "The sisters are very curious and want to know a real answer. The sisters all think highly of me and insist on pulling me, so I have to give the sisters a face, and I can't stand up to the sisters. They are the opposite of us, so I am also very embarrassed now, so don't make it too difficult for me." After Xiao Fan heard this, she was really full of grievances. These stinking girls are too much. They use coercive means to force others to stand on the opposite side of themselves. Don't they know that it is very immoral to do so? Without asking, I know that it must be Yu Wenli who can come up with a solution. Xiao Fan looked at Yang Kan again. Yang Kan hurriedly lowered his head. This bitch is not reliable at the critical moment. Xiao Fan looked at Mu Hong, but Mu Hong blinked her big eyes at him, which clearly meant that I was watching your show. I hope you can perform better, don't let me down. Xiao Fan sighed softly at this time. None of these women could be relied upon at the critical moment, and none of them stood up bravely to uphold justice at this time. It was so disappointing. Yang Yun stood at the front and accused, Mr. Xiao, I think you, as the first person in charge of our base, have the obligation to explain everything clearly. For your own prestige and your honor, you must also tell us, explain everything clearly. How did you have such an illegitimate daughter? What a little boy you were at that time, but you were able to do such a crazy thing, which surprised us all. I feel that you are too beastly. You must explain clearly to all of us that this is your obligation as the first person in charge. Xiao Fan couldn't help but keep scolding her mother in her heart. You guys know that I am the number one person in charge, but there is such a useless number one person in charge. Does I look like the number one person in charge now? I am obviously you now, the prisoner. You all act like you are interrogating a prisoner one by one. Even if you are interrogating a prisoner, you should give me the corresponding respect. But look at the expressions on your faces one by one. It seems that Lao Tzu is a heinous person. Is Lao Tzu so evil? At the same time, Xiao Fan also felt deep regret. This is really a wrong step. Wrong step. If God gives me another chance to start over, I must not have such naive thoughts. Chapter 145. You are my father. Fang Fei said, what my younger brother said is very reasonable. This is really inappropriate in terms of age. I say don't get too excited. Thinking about it carefully, it is really impossible. Xiao Fan cast a grateful look at Fang Fei. The most important thing is that her sister can uphold justice for her. Finally, someone speaks for her. Fang Lin also said, from a physiological point of view, Mr. Xiao should not have the ability to give birth to women at that age. Even if he did something, he shouldn't have an illegitimate daughter. Although Fang Lin's words sounded uncomfortable, they were still speaking for herself. Xiao Fan gave Fang Lin a thumbs up, but Fang Lin's next sentence made Xiao Fan almost collapse. She said, of course, there are no absolutes in this kind of thing. There are exceptions to everything. Of course there are exceptions to this kind of thing, so I can't say for sure. Xiao Fan sighed softly. The praise he just sent out was blind. Mu Hong said with a smile, I think this matter is indeed somewhat impossible. If you think about it, if Xiao Li is really Mr. Xiao's illegitimate daughter, she would have come to recognize her a long time ago. Why wait until this time? Many sisters nodded after listening to it. With the name of the Xiao group, they must have come to recognize each other a long time ago. There is no need to wait until this time, and if you think about it carefully, there is one thing that makes no sense at all, that is, Xiao, how did Li know Xiao Fan was here? What's more, why didn't Xiao Li's mother come with her? Mu Hong's one sentence basically achieved the purpose of exonerating Xiao Fan at this time. Xiao Li also came out of the room and came here. She didn't want to come out, but she could vaguely hear her name being called, so she couldn't help being curious and came out. All the sisters looked at Xiao Li, and then looked at Xiao Fan. No matter how you look at it, they feel that these two people are not like a father and daughter. Xiao Fang Fair said again at this time, although this girl Xiao Li is a perfect little beauty, my younger brother and I don't look alike at all. There is no way they are father and daughter. The other sisters all nodded. Xiao Fan let out a long sigh of relief. This farce is finally over, but at this moment, Xiao Li's eyes suddenly lit up, and he said in surprise, Xiao Fan, big brother, why do I feel that you are so kind when I first saw you? Why do I have to come here desperately looking for you? Everything can be explained clearly now. It turns out that you are my father. Could this be the psychological induction between our father and daughter? Because we are connected by blood, so I can't help but come here to find you. Did you feel so kind after seeing you? Xiao Fan was about to spit out a mouthful of old blood. Did the original energy ignore something? How did he make his human incarnation so stupid? Just as Xiao Fan was about to explain, Xiao Li said again, I don't know why, I just called you dad. I feel that I am more kind to you, and there is no awkwardness in my heart. I think you should be my father. My intuition has always been very accurate. You are really my father. Xiao Fan was completely petrified. All of a sudden he had 10,000 mouths and couldn't explain it clearly. What the hell was going on? The original energy made such a big joke with himself. Xiao Fan didn't know how he got back to his room. Anyway, he just heard a woman chattering incessantly next to his ear, and what he said was not so pleasant. Some people said he was real beast. Some people say that they are blind, but they didn't see through his essence. Some people said that they were almost fooled by him, and some people said that he was a good actor. In short, he said everything. Xiao Fan couldn't hear anything clearly, and felt his head was buzzing. It kept ringing, and I didn't know who was talking in my ear, let alone what they were talking about. In the end, Xiao Fan didn't know how he got back to his room. Anyway, he felt that someone was holding his hand back to his house. When the voices in his ears disappeared, Xiao Fan returned to normal. The person who pulled him back was Xiao Li. Xiao Li looked at him excitedly. His eyes were full of tenderness and the cuteness of a little girl. Xiao Fan felt his head buzzing. It seemed that he had to bear the blame even if he did it, and he had to bear it if he didn't. What's the matter? My reputation is not good on the first place. Although Xiao Fan doesn't care much about it, this time it's really wronged. I really don't have such a big daughter. Find someone to reason with. The key is that you can't even tell who to reason with. Xiao Fan looked at Xiao Li and said very seriously, Xiao Li, I know that you may be very lacking in father's love and mother's love. But there is one thing I have to tell you clearly. I am really not your father, and you are not my daughter. This matter cannot be joked, so I have to make it clear to you. There is no blood relationship between the two of us. I don't even know who your mother is, and I have never met your mother. Do you think I might be your father? Take a closer look at me. I'm not a few years older than you. How could it be your father? Xiao Li was about to cry out of grievance, and said in a crying voice, I know that my sudden appearance makes you feel very bad. You are still so young, and you have so many beautiful sisters around you. Of course you don't want to be as old as me, a daughter of yours, because I will be your oily bottle. But you always have to shoulder your own responsibilities. You are my father anyway. You abandoned me so cruelly, and now I finally come back to you. How can you still treat me so cruelly? I can promise you that I will not interfere with your private life in the future, but I also want fatherly love. Xiao Fan knows it's over. It's completely over. Xiao Li is sure that he is her father. The source of energy must be due to being too hasty and not perfecting her human incarnation, so she lacks a muscle. No matter what, no matter how you explain it, it will definitely not make sense. Xiao Fan couldn't help thinking of Lin Xiaoxiao again. It was all this little girl who caused her troubles, and if she had a chance, she would definitely deal with this little girl severely, let her know how good she is, and see if she will do it again in the future. Dare you talk nonsense, and Yang Yun must also be severely beaten. Chapter 146 Hold your nose and recognize a daughter. He could only forcefully smile and said, Xiao Li, I know you believe in your own feelings very much. And you are very eager for motherly love and fatherly love. I will try my best to give you these, but you must also accept what I told you before. Obedient, Xiao Li nodded and replied, Dad, the things you told your son before, my daughter will keep them firmly in my heart, and I will never let my father feel disappointed. My daughter will definitely satisfy and make my father happy. Dad, if you love your daughter will definitely love her father well. Xiao Fan felt goosebumps all over his body. It was so fucking nasty. Xiao Fan felt a little unacceptable, so he said with a smile, then you just listen to Dad and stay here with peace of mind. Dad still has a lot of things to deal with, so Dad will go out first. Xiao Fan turned around and was about to leave the room. Xiao Li grabbed Xiao Fan's hand and asked expectantly, Father, when will you be able to settle the matter? My daughter really wants to talk to you, and wants to talk to you so much. Say, I feel like I can't finish talking for 3 days and 3 nights. Xiao Fan instantly felt that his goosebumps could fall all over the ground. If he talked in such a tone for 3 days and 3 nights, Xiao Fan guaranteed that he would go crazy, but this feeling must not be shown. He could only explain patiently, there are a lot of things outside, and Dad can't guarantee when they can be dealt with, but what Dad can assure you is that Dad will deal with all the outside things as soon as possible. Just come to you and chat with you, okay? Xiao Li nodded curtly, and let go of Xiao Fan's hand. Xiao Fan walked out of the room as if he had been pardoned, and then looked around, and found none of those stinky girls. Yuan Li, are you hiding? I'll see where you can hide, just wait for me, and I'll settle the score with you first. Xiao Fan walked towards Yuan Li's room viciously, pushed the door with his hand, and the door opened, but there was no sign of Yuan Li in the room, and he didn't know where the stinky bitch was now. At this time, Yuan Li was outside the base. She looked at Wang Min and said with a smile, you have stood outside for such a long time, and my sister feels very sorry. I love you, so my sister plans to change the guard with you, so go back and have a rest. Wang Min looked at Yuan Li in disbelief. Yuan Li snorted and said, I said, why do you have such an expression on your face? Are you a bit cheap? Sister, I speak to you so gently, treat you so gently, and you just use this expression to repay my sister? I say you are really interesting, can't you get along well with your sister? Wang Min snorted, Yuan Li, don't pretend to be big garlic in front of me. What about sisters and sisters? If you really want to get along with me, I am my sister and you are my sister. Otherwise, I won't believe it, your sincerity, you will really feel sorry for me? Don't think that I don't know the little calculations in your heart. You must have done something wrong, and you came to hide outside this base, right? Yuan Li stared at Wang Min, and couldn't help thinking that Wang Min didn't look easy to fool. Wang Min continued, what the hell have you done? Tell me about it, and let me have fun too. Yuan Li sighed lightly and replied, I think Xiao Fan will be pissed off this time. You know that Xiao Li who went in just now seems to be out of her mind. She thinks Xiao Fan is her father. Wang Min was surprised and said, there is such a thing? She is a very beautiful and lovely girl. It is really a pity. Why is her mind not normal? No, she thinks Xiao Fan is her father. And what do you have, relationship? Why are you hiding here? I said it's not because of you, right? Yuan Li smiled wryly and said, strictly speaking, it can't be regarded as my reason. It's just that I fanned the flames behind my back and asked other sisters to target Xiao Fan. This stinky guy Xiao Fan must have sensed it. He must be holding fire in his heart now. One will definitely settle accounts with me, so I will come out and hide. Wang Min showed a very contemptuous look and said, Yuan Li, I used to think highly of you, but now I look down on you. Why are you afraid of such a small thing? Even if he finds you, what can he do to you? Isn't that the big deal? What are you afraid of? Yuan Li shyly said, do you think I'm as thick-skinned as you? I'm a very clean woman. Up to now, I haven't had any man. How could I just hand myself over casually? You must be responsible for your own future. Wang Min sneered. I said, are you blind? Even if your eyes are blind, are your mind also blind? You still have to be responsible for your own future. What a fool. You don't even look at the outside world. To what extent has the interstellar iron beetle been destroyed? How many men are left alive? Even if some men survived, how many men do you think can be compared to Xiao Fan among all the men? Think for yourself. Yuan Li was silent after listening. Wang Min continued, I think you still have to let yourself go. Don't always put on your own airs. Does it mean that he hasn't touched you yet? We are all living a precarious life now, not because I am particularly pessimistic. It's just that I'm talking about a fact. Maybe one day either you will be gone or I will be gone. You said that you didn't even touch a man's hand at that time. Are you at a loss? Yu Wenli snorted and said, it's not as serious as you said. We are all supernatural power awakeners. How could we die so easily? Even in the face of the interstellar iron beetle, we all have a certain ability to protect ourselves. Don't you? It's a bit too pessimistic. I don't think there's any need to be so pessimistic at all. Wang Min sneered. We are all supernatural power awakeners. There is nothing wrong with that, but if you think about it carefully, the interstellar iron beetles also have supernatural powers, so they can still be killed by us? Since we can kill them, why can't they kill us? And they are more in number and we have fewer people, that is, we are on the weak side. Where do you get the confidence that we can only kill them, but they cannot kill us? After hearing this, Yu Wenli fell into silence. She really hadn't considered this issue before, but now that Wang Min said this, she felt that Wang Min's understanding was much more thorough than her own. Die in the midst of it. Do I really need to be as reserved as in the past? Chapter 147. Hold a celebration party for you. Yu Wenli suddenly asked, I want to ask you a question. After I ask you, don't be angry. Wang Min nodded and replied, just ask. I'm not angry. Yu Wenli asked, if your mother and sister? Wang Min glanced at it, and Yu Wenli swallowed the remaining half of the words. Wang Min sighed softly and said, as long as they can live in peace, nothing else matters to me. I don't worry about this. In this end of the world, being able to survive is a luxury, and worry about what to do with other things. Aren't you asking for trouble? Yu Wenli stopped talking, and Wang Min also fell silent after a while. Yu Wenli said, actually, I don't really know you very well. Through my chat with you now, I feel that I have a deeper understanding of you. You are the one who is more free and easy, people. I hope that in all the battles in the future, you can survive in peace. Wang Min smiled and said, I also hope that I can survive safely. In fact, I am the most difficult person to survive. Don't think that the ability I awakened is flying ability, but it is precisely because of this ability that I am more it's hard to survive, because the star machine iron beetles can fly, and as long as I fly, I will become the target of all the interstellar iron beetles. Yu Wenli stared at Wang Min. Everything this woman said was true. Her flying ability looks cool, but it actually sends her into even more dangerous situations. Yu Wenli suddenly said, let's practice fighting skills together. We all make good use of the bone spears in our hands. Anyway, idle is idle, isn't it? Wang Min said with a smile. Yu Wenli, you really seem to be smarter than me. Why didn't I think of this? Let's practice together. Inside the base, Xiao Fan saw Su Xia, who appeared in front of him with a smile on her face. Xiao Fan stepped forward and asked, what supernatural power has Sister Xia awakened? Su Xia smiled slightly and said, can you guess? Xiao Fan shook his head and replied, you asked me to guess this. I really can't guess it, but I can guess a general direction. It shouldn't be a combat ability, but it is also a very useful one. Considering Miss Xia's brain is so smart, it can't be related to IQ, right? Su Xia laughed and said, it's not a combat ability, but it's not an ability related to IQ either. I can predict the future. Fuck. Xiao Fan couldn't help but swear. Su Xiaobei said to Xiao Fan, it's not that I can predict all the future, but a very short future and short-term dangers. That is to say, if our base encounters any danger in the future, I can make certain predictions in advance. Warning, after hearing this, Xiao Fan was very excited. This ability is so practical. In such an apocalyptic world facing the interstellar iron beetle, it is simply a life-saving weapon. Xiao Fan hugged Su Xia tightly excitedly, and let go after a long time and said, Sister Xia, I want to thank you on behalf of everyone. Your ability is simply too important to us. I don't know how many lives will be saved. I think it is necessary for us to hold a celebration party and celebrate it. Xiao Fan rubbed his hands excitedly, and then said decisively, yes, there must be a grand attack meeting. I'm going to discuss my matter now, not only for Sister Xia's celebration, but also for other power awakeners this time celebrate. You must celebrate grandly. You must celebrate grandly. As Xiao Fan said, she went to Zhang Luo. Su Xia looked at the back of Xiao Fan leaving. With a slight smile on the corner of her mouth, this man was just like a boy just now, like a little boy who got a beloved toy. The excitement and hot feelings at that moment were so pure, and they didn't hide it at all, which made Su Xia feel very touched happy. Mu Hong and Mu Ying came over, and Mu Hong said with a smile, my good sister, I really want to congratulate you this time. I have never seen him so happy when so many people awakened. You are really happy this time. I brought him a great surprise. He was as happy as a child, and I was also very happy, Mu Ying said with some taste. I think he is very eccentric. I experienced so much pain when I awakened my ability, and my ability is not too bad. Why don't you see him so happy? Mu Hong glanced at her younger sister and said, I said you don't have to be jealous, whether he is biased or not, but there is one fact that no one can change, that is, Sister Xia's awakened ability can kill everyone once and for all. Fate. But our awakened ability does not have the ability to do this. Su Xia smiled and said, my good sister, you don't have to be so modest. If it's only my ability, without your powerful combat power to cooperate, my ability won't be of much use, so what we need is tacit cooperation, Mu Ying hurriedly explained. Sister Xia, don't get me wrong. Sister, what I said just now was just complaining that guy was too pragmatic. I don't have any envy for my sister. My sister can awaken such a powerful ability, and my sister also I feel very happy. Maybe my younger sister will rely on her to save her life in the future, Su Xia said with a smile. Sisters don't say these polite words between us, we are like real sisters. What does it matter if you are jealous or not? When you awakened the power, my sister hadn't awakened the power yet. At that time, my sister felt really envious and jealous in her heart. Mu Ying giggled and said, my sister is really good at talking, and it immediately made me feel better. Good sister, why don't we help? After all, it is mainly for your celebration party. If we don't help, the words seem to be unreasonable. Mu Hong also nodded in agreement with her sister's opinion. Su Xia naturally wouldn't put on airs. In fact, she kept her posture very low. Even if she awakened such a significant ability, as such a smart woman, they will definitely not be proud of this. It will only make others hate themselves. Su Xia would never do such a thing. It would only make all her previous efforts go in vain. Chapter 148 Yang Canon number 039, S Provocation. Everyone is very depressed these days, because after all, everyone has a mentality of fleeing for their lives. Who can relax? Now Xiao Fan has such an idea, which immediately makes everyone's mood boil at this time. Zhang Weilan's mother had completed the awakening of her abilities, and followed Zhang Luo to the celebration party. Zhang Weilan was still lying on the bed and didn't get up. She really didn't want to get up. The smell of that man was all around her. She was a bit reluctant to bear this smell. Xiao Fan walked into her room. Zhang Weilan said with a smile, aren't you busy? Why do you have the time to come to me? Xiao Fan smiled and said, I'm going to come and see you, a big lazy cat. There's so much excitement outside, but you haven't participated in any of them. Is there something uncomfortable? Zhang Weilan said with a smile, don't worry, I don't have any discomfort. You go and do your own thing. I will get up later, and then I will attend the celebration party on time. Xiao Fan walked up to her and rubbed her hair, and said softly, I really don't have anything to do now. I have already distributed all the supplies needed for the celebration party, and everyone is scrambling for it, doing things. I am redundant. I haven't seen you, so I came to see you. Zhang Weilan smiled and said, I really have nothing to do, I just don't want to get up. I was not a good student when I was in school. The most wonderful thing for me at that time was that I knew it was time to get up, but I just didn't want to get up. It's wonderful to lie on the bed and enjoy the feeling of being lazy. Xiao Fan smiled and said, then I shouldn't show up and disturb your wonderful feeling. Zhang Weilan smiled and said, you really shouldn't appear. Your appearance is a beautiful mistake. So we have to get rid of the mistake, only the beauty is left. You can stay on the bed with me, as Zhang Weilan said. She pulled Xiao Fan to her side. Soon a large conference room in the underground fortress was decorated with a festive atmosphere. Mu Hong took a look at it as a whole and felt very satisfied. The atmosphere was completely enhanced. Mu Ying looked around and said, I don't know where Xiao Fan is hiding. He has disappeared all of a sudden since just now. It must be because we all came to help. He sneaked away by himself. My sister asked you if I should go find him. Find him? Mu Hong smiled and said, let him go. It's better to let him take a break. Mu Ying's mouth kept moving, but she didn't say anything. But if someone understands lip language, they should be able to tell that Mu Ying is complaining that Xiao Fan doesn't know where to go. Yang Kun walked over at this time, followed by his younger sister Yang Yun. Yang Kun stretched out his right hand, stretched it out in front of Mu Hong and said, let's get to know each other formally. My name is Yang Kan, and I just awakened the light arrow ability, as if to show off her special abilities on purpose. Yankin lightly pointed with her right finger and shot a light arrow from the tip of her very beautiful finger, but the whole force was well controlled, and the light arrow disappeared quickly. No harm was done. Mu Hong stretched out her hand to hold Yankin's hand and said with a smile, "Congratulations on awakening such a powerful ability. I think our strength has increased a bit." "Congratulations again," Yankin smiled and said, "I accept your congratulations. But I want to talk to you alone. It seems that there is nothing to do now, just wait for that guy to announce that the celebration will start. So you won't reject me." Mu Ying looked very upset. What does this stinky woman mean? This is a demonstration against her sister, so Mu Ying stared at Yankin very unkindly, but Yankin pretended not to see it, just looked at Mu Hong. Mu Hong thought for a while and nodded. "Then let's find a place to talk. How about going to my room? It's quieter there, what do you think?" Yankin replied indifferently, "I think it's very good." So Mu Hong took Yankin out of the big conference room. Mu Ying wanted to follow, but was blocked by Yang Yun. Mu Ying said angrily, "Yang Yun, what do you mean?" Yang Yun smiled and replied, "This is a separate conversation between my sister and your sister. I think we should give them a free space to talk freely. Neither of us need to disturb you. Do you think what I said isn't it very reasonable? After all, we two sisters have grown up, there is no need to be my sister's follower." Mu Ying stared at Yang Yun fiercely, and Yang Yun looked at her without flinching. Finally, Mu Ying snorted coldly and went to find Su Xia. If only Yang Yun could show a meaningful smile. When he came to Mu Hong's room, Yankin took a look at the tidy bed, then walked over, lay down on the bed, smelled it lightly, and then took a deep breath. Mu Hong was stunned for a while. What was going on with this Yankin? Could it be that she was a little psychotic, or else why would she make such a strange move? I still need to be more careful when dealing with her. Finally Yankin stood up straight, and then said with a faint smile, "I thought he would miss you very much, but I didn't realize that I was wrong. You don't smell like him here. It seems that you are also a poor woman, not a happy woman like I thought." Mu Hong's face was very ugly, and she said coldly, "Yankin, if you really just want to talk to me about these things, then I think our conversation can end here. There is no need to continue, and I am not in the mood to talk about these boring topics with you right now. So now I ask you to leave my room immediately. The celebration party will be held soon, and I don't want to let our relationship freeze at this sensitive moment." Yankin sneered and said, "Mu Hong, why are you so angry? I just told the truth. I was jealous of you before, so now I have awakened the power, and I have awakened so powerful I can't wait to have a conversation between the strong and the strong with you, but now I don't think it's necessary at all. I think we can change the topic and method of the conversation." Mu Hong stared at Yankin coldly, but did not make any response. Yankin continued, "It's hard for that stinky guy to see him now. You are almost in the same situation as me. I don't think you are much better than me. Don't you have any other thoughts in your heart? I think on this issue, we can have a good talk." Chapter 149. Please sister help me. Yankin said, "I know what you said, but I am completely different from her. She wants to challenge that man's authority, but I don't want to challenge that man's authority. In fact, I will do my best. Trying hard to maintain that man's authority, I just want to get more attention from that man." Mu Hong shook her head and replied, "Maybe your idea is good, but in fact, what you did will make that man very unhappy. If I remember correctly, that man tortured you all before you awakened your abilities. I've warned you, I don't think you listened at all." Yankin snorted and said, "Are you so reconciled that he may never enter your room again from now on? Don't you have any complaints in your heart?" "I don't believe that you don't have any complaints in your heart. You are also a woman. I don't think you're a saint." Mu Hong smiled and said, "You are right, I am a woman. I want everything a woman wants. How can there be so many bullshit saints in this world? If there is a saint, I think instead, I will hide away. But sometimes our rationality has to overcome our own emotions. Now it is the end of the world, and he needs to do a lot. We can help him as much as we can, instead of letting him feeling upset, Feng Min dissatisfied, but I think he pays too little attention to me. I want to make him pay more attention to me. Is this wrong? I don't think it's a mistake. And I don't think it's a mistake in my heart. What a great thing. Isn't it better for a woman to act like a baby?" Mu Hong took Yankin's hand and said with a smile, "My dear sister, everything you said is correct, but have you ever thought that the situation is completely different now? We are now in the end times. Who is under the most pressure? Of course it is he who is under the greatest pressure. Not only does he have to protect the safety of the entire base, but he also wants each of us to live as well as possible. One person bears all the fear of the end times. Don't you think is it stressful enough? Yang Kun was silent after listening. Mu Hong went on to say, think about it carefully. If you are working hard and the people around you are still making trouble, making you uneasy, will your mood become very irritable? If you really want him to pay more attention to you, I think you are a very smart woman. You should know what is the best choice. Yang Kun remained silent. Mu Hong continued to enlighten. Good sister, think about it carefully. We live in uncertainty every day. Maybe one of us will be gone tomorrow. Maybe it's you, maybe it's me, maybe it's any other person. Do you think he didn't think of this? He must have thought of this, so he will cherish us even more. So in order to avoid this situation, he will do his best. So now we should understand how much pressure he is under. What we can do is not only consider our own feelings, but consider his feelings more. Let him feel relaxed and happy, and stay by his side silently. Being there for him when we need it is what we should do. Yang Kun sighed. This damned interstellar iron beetle, the damned end of the world, has really changed too many things. Sometimes I am really very, very unwilling, and sometimes I think that if there is no this interstellar iron beetle, it would be great if this damned apocalypse didn't come. Mu Hong smiled and said, I know what you think in your heart, maybe you can have more time to guard him. It seems that we have to face the reality. The reality is that the end of the world is coming. We must all make our own to change, to give up some of the previous concepts that should be given up. Yang Kun sighed softly and said, but I'm really not reconciled, so reconciled. I really want to fight fiercely with the interstellar iron beetle, and kill them all, so that I can feel relieved and able to let out all the anger in your heart. Mu Hong persuaded, my dear sister, you'd better not have this idea. You have just awakened the ability, but the awakening of the ability does not mean that you have a strong combat power. If you want to have a strong combat power, you must have experienced. Only by practicing battles one after another can you cultivate your keen intuition on the battlefield, and your combat skills can be honed. Do you know why Wang Min was abused so badly? It was because she thought she had awakened the aliens. If you can, you will have a strong combat power. In fact, there is no equal sign between the two. It can be said that Mu Hong tried her best to persuade her. It is also very necessary for her to do so. Those who have just awakened their abilities must realize that awakening their abilities does not mean anything. Beetle, that is pure courting death. Then how worried and sad Xiao Fan will be. So Mu Hong must nip the sign in the cradle, and not let such a tragedy happen. She is sharing the pressure for Xiao Fan. Yang Kun said seriously, my good sister, I know you are doing it for my own good. Don't worry, I will firmly remember every word you say. I have one thing I want to ask my sister for help. My sister, should you won't reject me, will you? In fact, I'm a very thin-skinned person. I hope my sister won't reject me either. Mu Hong smiled and said, just say what you want. If I can do it and agree to it, I will definitely agree to it. Of course, there are some things that I can't agree to. I advise my sister not to say anything. Even if my sister speaks, I will directly refuse. No matter how my sister begs, I will never agree to you. My sister, I am actually responsible for you, and I am also responsible for him, Yang Kun said with a smile. Sister, don't worry, there will never be any embarrassing things. I want my sister to help me train my combat power and master combat skills. One day, if the battle really comes, I hope I can fighting side by side with you. I'm not relying on your hind legs. My sister already has certain fighting skills. She can definitely help me. My sister probably won't refuse my request. Chapter 150, the third person in charge. At this time, Xiao Fan brought Zhang Weilin to the big meeting room. Seeing the layout of the big meeting room, Xiao Fan was very satisfied. Not only does it look very festive, but it is also very warmly decorated. It really has the atmosphere of a big family. Everyone cheered when they saw Xiao Fan appear. Xiao Fan looked at Su Xia and signaled Su Xia to come to her side. Su Xia seemed a little hesitant, but she still walked to Xiao Fan's side. Xiao Fan said with a smile, I saw that all of you have successfully awakened your abilities one by one. To be honest, I am also very happy in my heart. From then on, you are all awakened abilities. Of course, don't feel discouraged for those who don't have awakening abilities. I can assure you that it won't take long for everyone in our base to awaken their abilities. Those who had not awakened their abilities were all cheered up when they heard about it. Xiao Fan continued, so we have to hold today's celebration. The first is to celebrate your smooth awakening ability. which has strengthened the strength of our entire underground fortress. The second thing to celebrate is that Miss Xiao will serve as the third person in charge of our underground fortress. Su Xiao felt a little dazed. Why did she suddenly come up with a third person in charge? In fact, this is a decision Xiao Fan made after careful consideration. Although Su Xiao said that she doesn't care about her status and will do her best to help Lin Xiao solve the problem, Xiao Fan still considers that doing so is actually very inappropriate. It's not right, so Xiao Fan still decided to appoint Su Xiao as the third person in charge. The others were also a little confused, but thunderous applause broke out soon. After the applause subsided, Xiao Fan continued, I must emphasize here that you should not think that you are great after awakening your abilities. After you awaken your abilities, you must emphasize discipline and implement absolute orders and prohibitions. Let's start with the ugly words here. If any of you dare to disobey orders, no matter if it's my order or the orders of the other two responsible persons, you will be resolutely expelled from the base. Xiao Fan's words immediately made everyone quiet, and the expressions on their faces became serious. Xiao Fan wanted to show them off. For the healthy development of the entire underground base, he had to make such an arrangement. Otherwise, in the future, the entire underground base would be full of supernatural beings, and they all felt that they were all amazing. Do whatever you want, and no one listens to the orders you give, then the entire underground fortress will become a mess, and it is only a matter of time before the underground fortress will eventually perish. Xiao Fan continued, of course, some of you may not be convinced by what I said. If anyone is not convinced, they can stand up and refute me, or leave the underground fortress in private. I can assure you here I will definitely not stop you. Although I have worked so hard to help you awaken your abilities, I will never use this as an excuse to blackmail you, let alone make things difficult for you. Of course, you should not make trouble in my underground fortress. You should go, just go. If you have to go, go. The expressions on the faces of all the people are more serious. Will they really leave? Only a fool would leave. First of all, people with supernatural powers also have feelings. Why did they awaken their supernatural powers? That is Xiao Fan's self-made. Without Xiao Fan, he is nothing. Xiao Fan just obeys the order. It's not a big deal. None of them will leave the underground fortress because of this. Besides, did you really think that there would be a good result waiting for you after you really left the underground fortress? Needless to say, how the supplies will come from in the future. Does one's own ability represent a strong combat power? Of course not. So even if a supernatural person leaves the underground fortress, he also leaves the safety guarantee, becomes extremely dangerous, and also loses the supply of reliable materials. Xiao Fan looked at the crowd and said, since no one stood up to refute, does anyone want to leave here? Everyone answered in unison, never leave. Xiao Fan said with a smile, if that's the case, then you have to know it yourself. You must absolutely obey all the orders of the person in charge. If anyone fails to do so, then he will be punished accordingly and be expelled. Getting out of the underground fortress is the lightest thing, and if the circumstances are serious, you may be disabled or even executed. All the people answered firmly, understood. Xiao Fan smiled and said, I hope you will not be affected by what I said just now. We still have to have fun when we celebrate later. I didn't mean to spoil everyone's happiness by saying those words just now, but now this underground fortress is becoming more and more powerful, so discipline must be emphasized more and more. Otherwise, one day I will worry that one of you will accidentally demolish our underground fortress. Everyone let out good-natured laughter. Xiao Fan also smiled and said, okay, I'm actually not good at talking, so I've finished all I have to say, so I won't waste any time. I have enough wine and food today, so what should I say? Eat, drink, and enjoy yourself. All the people shouted excitedly. Xiao Fan picked up a glass of wine to signal everyone to toast, and everyone drank the first glass together. Only then did Su Xiao look at Xiao Fan and say, Xiao Fan, your announcement is a bit unexpected. I really wasn't prepared for it at all. In fact, it's completely unnecessary. I will definitely do it with all my heart. Help Lin Xiao to do a good job of guarding our underground fortress. Xiao Fan smiled and said, Sister Xiao, don't think too much. I have my own reasons for this arrangement. It is also an arrangement that I made after careful consideration. This world must be well known in the world, otherwise these guys will treat you on the surface in the future. You may obey, but you don't know that you will have different ideas in your heart. Once this kind of emotion accumulates over time, It will not be a good thing for our entire underground fortress, so it is better to give you a title directly." Su Xiao nodded and replied, "I understand all your hard work. Don't worry, I will never let you down. Even if I do my best, I will destroy our underground fortress. Guard it. Absolutely no danger will be allowed in our underground fortress." When Su Xiao said these words, the expression on her face was extremely firm. It could be seen that what she said was from the heart, and it was definitely the kind of promise that could be said and kept. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.